all-time rushing leader, scoring the winning touchdown. Throw out the records this season because the rematch is next. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler present Big 12 football. Today, the Missouri Tigers take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Let's take a look at the Big 12 standings. First of all, in the North Division, Missouri at 4-3. This is a must-win situation for the Tigers if they still hold out of going to a bowl. And in the South Division, the Oklahoma State Cowboys are short of their first winning season since 1988. They will play Texas A&M next week. So this also a must-win for OSU. Hello again, everybody, along with Dave Lapham, I'm Ron Thulin. And I tell you what, Dave, Oklahoma State is truly one of the great success stories in college football this year. But when you point to their success, you have to look immediately to their defense.
There's no doubt about it. You play good defense, you have a chance to win. And co-coordinator Rob Ryan learned from one of the best, his mentor, his dad, Buddy Ryan, that aggressive style of defense, and the numbers show it. Look, last year they're in the bottom of the NCAA in just about every category. This year, in the top 10 in every significant defensive category, number 3 in the country stopping the run, 2.2 per rush is all they're allowing. That is stingy defense.
And, of course, Missouri's stronghold is obviously running the football. And when they do win football games, they rush well, and they have to do that today.
There's no doubt about it. This team, number 6 in the country, running the football, the Missouri Tigers. But you can see in the 4 wins, they really get their running game rolling, almost 320 yards a game. When they've lost the football game, they've only rushed for 184 yards. So the key to today's game is very simple. Number 6 in the country running the football. Will number 3 in the country stopping the run be able to stop the Missouri Tigers? We'll see.
We will find out. Now, Missouri has not had much luck against ranked opponents. In fact, the last time they beat a ranked opponent on the road, 1981. We'll return to Lewis Field in Stillwater after this word from Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler.
Turn it up, look the pump, slammed up. In line, all lines, to the net. Dr. Pepper, taste to get. Blue jeans, fly machines, football huddle. They show. Read a vote. Yeah. Now it's so time. Now it's so time. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I know about performance.
Better traction, but on a day like this is no good. So what are the players sporting today? Check out the cleat. This is what you call a destroyer. A longer cleat means better traction. So this is what happens when a player runs in cuts. He's usually standing upright than horizontal. We have a good one today. It's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week. Oklahoma State against Missouri, and it's coming your way next.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, Robert Smith and the Vikings battle Warwick Dunn and the Bucs.
Sunday afternoon at 3 on Fox 28 and 40.
For the Cowboys set to take on the Missouri Tigers, and the weather here in Stillwater is not good and is not expected to get any better. Right now, 61 degrees. The temperature expected to head southward in just a little bit. Right now, the wind's out of the east. Northeast at 10. That is expected to increase, and thunderstorms are expected. And just before the game, Les Miles, offensive coordinator of Oklahoma State, trying to get his centers used to the wet ball, Dave.
That's a great idea. You know, you have to secure the exchange, center quarterback exchange, have the quarterbacks throw that soggy, heavy football to the wideouts. There's a guy that's thinking ahead, offensive coordinator Les Miles.
Well, for the first time this year, Oklahoma State lost the toss. Missouri won it. They have deferred because they are expecting a very windy and wet afternoon here in Stillwater, so they are going to kick it away to Oklahoma State. Scott Nickman. There is R.W. McQuarters, averaging just over 19 yards a kick right now. The Oklahoma State Cowboys have not returned a whole lot of kicks, only 7 this year. They are 111th in the NCAA, but Bob Simmons said he's not really concerned about it. Nickman's kick is going to be short. McQuarters at the 7. has an opening. Got some running room up to the 30-yard line, and he is going to be brought down. And that is where Oklahoma State will begin their first possession. Starting at quarterback is a redshirt freshman out of Denver, Colorado, Tony Lindsey. Is 6'2", 190 pounds. He's 11th in total offense right now. But boy, I tell you what, Dave, he is a dandy.
He really is. He's so athletic. I mean, he's one of those quarterbacks you see in college football a lot today that can stretch the field vertically with his throwing arm, horizontally with his jackhammer feet. Corby Jones can do the same thing. Nice matchup at quarterback today.
Nathan Simmons, the lone setback. Oklahoma State will send 2 wide receivers to the left, man in motion. McCourter's in motion, then sets up in the slot. The pass to McCourter's a great grab. He's going to have a little bit of running room. Picks up 7. Penalty flags are thrown, and maybe a face mask. Martez Young on the coverage.
Ran a nice little screen there to the wide receiver.
Straight ahead with Nathan Simmons, the coach's son. Picks up a couple. Justin Wyatt on the tackle. Southwest Airlines starting lineup. And at the center spot is Jeremy Offit, the junior out of Paris, Texas. He definitely has to contain the nose tackle for Missouri, Donnell Jones, who is a dandy. And at the running back and wide receiver spot, look for Alonzo Mays. Big game versus Missouri last year. Coaches say he's playing even more relaxed right now. Second down and 7, ball sitting on the 33-yard line. We're glad to have you with us this afternoon on a rainy and soggy day in Stillwater. Again, it is Simmons. This time, the Missouri defense led by Al Sterling there to block things up. And the defensive line for the Missouri Tigers, we talked about Donnell Jones. OSU coach is telling us that he single-handedly beat them last year. They've got an eye out for him. Linebacker spot, Kevin Ford. He has moved from the strong side linebacker to outside, which is more of his natural position. And in the secondary, Calderon Eastern, the junior out of Houston, Texas, big-time hitter and an excellent tackler. Third down and 6 for the OSU Cowboys. 36% on the year in third down conversions. Lindsey's going to put it up. This is where he is dangerous. What a move. Bounces to the outside. But just has to take a seat as he gets up to the 36-yard line. Barry Odom, the will linebacker, on the chase.
Alonzo Mays lined up in the slot that time as a tight end. He was the primary receiver. As he ran his little pivot route, he slipped on the wet turf. It looked like he might have been held, but I don't think it was the case. I think he just slipped, didn't go down to the turf, but that was the primary receiver for Lindsey. When he was eliminated because of the slip, Lindsey had the one read. When it wasn't there, tuck it and go.
There you see Jason Davis, second in the Big 12, 8th in the NCAA, and punting the football. He is a very good one, and specialty teams are going to play a big part today. Randy Potter not dressing out for Missouri, so they will lose something in punt returns. Ricky Ross is back. There will be no return. And the Missouri Tigers with 12:39 left in the first will take over their first possession, and there is Corby Jones, the junior out of Columbia, Missouri. Had an excellent game throwing the football last week against Texas, 220 yards.
On just 12 completions. I mean, some big plays in that passing game last week, and they ran the ball effectively as well.
At their own 34-yard line, Corby Jones and company will take over. Now, they threw the ball often and early against Texas. Let's see if they do it this afternoon. Split backfield for the Tigers. Lehman in motion. Jones will put it up to Olivo. Pass is complete up 7-yard line. On the stop. Yeah, let's take a look at this Missouri offense. The line is led by Todd Niemeyer, the right tackle. He's nursing an ankle injury, but he has been playing well. He's been grading consistently high for that offensive line. And the running backs and wide receivers, keep an eye on the fullback, Ernest Blackwell. Oklahoma State says we have to take this guy out of the game. Had a 67-yard touchdown run versus Texas last week. Pickup of 3, second and 7. Just about 3 minutes gone by here in the first. James and Olivo in the backfield. Brock Olivo straight ahead. Crosses the 40 up to the 42-yard line. The Oklahoma State defense is led by number 99, Jamal Williams, the junior out of Washington, D.C. He's hard to block. He leads OSU in sacks. The linebacker core, that is led by Kenyatta Wright, a sophomore out of Vian, Oklahoma, just a small 2A school. He calls all the coverages for the Cowboys. And in the secondary, Kevin Williams didn't even play last year. Had 5 interceptions this season. Third and 2 for Missouri. They're 42% on third down. Devin West diving over the top, crosses the 45, and he will have enough for the first down.
Well, on second down, Oklahoma State moved their defensive front early in the cadence, trying to confuse Corby Jones a little bit at the quarterback position. He made a good adjustment, and they ran to the bubble. They ran where a linebacker was lined up, none of the down linemen. On third down, they decided to go on the quick count to eliminate some of that movement.
First and 10, ball on the 46. I formation again. Corby Jones changing things up. Olivo and James in the eye. The option. Jones is going to be wrapped up, loses the football. Oklahoma State's got it, but they say he was down.
Boy, that was almost the 5th fumble recovery of the season for Courtney Mallory. He's got a nose for that football. When it's on the turf, he picks it up. It's amazing, but it's a moot point. The contact of the turf caused the fumble. The play was already whistled dead. But Corby Jones showing that leg strength and that leg drive. They defend the option pretty well here. And Corby Jones takes an initial hit, runs through 2 tackles. The third tackler finally brings him down.
Whoa.
He's too strong to arm tackle. Well, that's questionable if his knee was down before that ball popped out of there.
I don't think it was.
The official's saying that it was.
Well, at halftime, Dave's going to be talking about that Oklahoma State defense, how they force turnovers, and Courtney Mallory is kind of the center of attention on it. So we'll look forward to that at halftime. Second and 8, 10:08. Penalty flag is thrown. Olivo makes a nice catch at the 50. He is going to be pushed out at the 48-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on the play, but we do have a couple of penalty flags laying on the ground.
Well, I didn't see any movement necessarily. I wonder if somebody lined up offside. I didn't see any premature jumping into neutral zone or an offensive lineman breaking his stance early. Let's see.
Well, Missouri mixing it up. They're talking to Brock Olivo. All the seniors are captains for Missouri. Olivo just represents everybody.
The other option this might be is not 7 men on the line of scrimmage. You got an illegal shift and illegal formation on Missouri that's going to cost them 5 yards.
That'll push it back. You know, talking to the coaches yesterday, Dave, Oklahoma State, I was impressed with one of the statements that they made about Larry Smith and his team, saying they never call a bad running play. I've never heard a coach say that.
Right, and Rob Ryan, what he tries to get done is read tendencies real well. And the thing is, he's, by Missouri being able to run the option and run the more basic offensive plays out of basic formations in the running game, it eliminates some of the stunting and twisting that he can do up front. They have to line up and play it more base, so it makes them simplify a little bit. He's got a lot of respect for their ability to make the call in the running game.
On second and 13, the option. Jones flips a little bit, still able to cross the 45 up to about the 49-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play. Well, let's take a look and see what Missouri has to do in order to win this football game.
Well, they want to get off to a quick start because Oklahoma State has outscored their opposition by 99 points in the first half. They want to contain Lindsey and Mays, the 2 big offensive threats for Oklahoma State. No big plays out of those 2. And when they do have an opportunity to make a big play in the passing game, if somebody's running jailbreak open, Corby Jones has to finalize and execute and seize that opportunity.
Now, Oklahoma State wants a turnover by Missouri on this first possession, especially on a third down play. On third and 8, 9:20 in the first. Jones. Pass is overthrown, intended for Brock Olivo. Jay Murkison was also in the area, number 81, the wide receiver. Jones couldn't get it to him.
Now, this is a very slick field. Very, very slippery football field. You know what? The offense is staying in the game. I think we're going to see one of those pooch punts out of Corby Jones, just like he did against the University of Texas. Now, they don't know that Oklahoma State does not know if basically the throw not executed by Corby Jones on that look that we saw on the play. But Corby Jones is in there in the shotgun. They can either run an offensive play here on 4th and 7, or he will pooch punt it. And Oklahoma State's calling timeout as a result of this confusion.
Well, they used 3 punters last week against Texas. They start out with Corby Jones today. 9:15 left in the first. We're scoreless in Stillwater.
Turn to Menards for huge door and window savings. Keep out the cold with storm and screen doors from Mastercraft by Larson. This self-storing door is on sale in 3 for $8
as the Tigers secure the 35-28 overtime victory. And that was a big win for the Tigers, and they would love to have another one this afternoon here in Stillwater, which would just about put them in a pretty good position for a bowl game. Well, the Oklahoma State Cowboys punt return, number 1 in the conference, 5th in the NCAA. Now Jones is not going to punt. They've got Vince Sebo in.
What they did is they made Oklahoma State burn a timeout because Corby Jones, they didn't know if he was going to throw the football as a quarterback or punt it. They didn't have a return man in the game to return the punt. They burn a timeout. Now Missouri's going to kick it away, and McQuarters is back deep. I kick away from him, though.
Missouri last in the conference, 108th in the NCAA in punt returns. This one will find its way into the end zone. And Oklahoma State, with 9:07 left in the first, will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Last year, this Oklahoma State offense last in the Big 12. This year, they've had 5 consecutive games of 30 points or more. First time since '88, and I think Mr. Lindsey and Mr. Halupka in the 2-quarterback system has a little bit to do with that.
There's no doubt about it, and they're running the ball for almost 240 yards a game themselves, number 14 in the nation. So Oklahoma State's got a good running game, and Lindsey has been a significant contributor out of that quarterback position, running the football with called quarterback draws and runs designed specifically for the quarterback.
They keep it on the ground. Simmons with some running room. Crosses the 25 up to the 30. First down, OSU. Nathan Simmons, the sophomore out of Boulder, Colorado. Truly one of the outstanding student athletes that I think Dave and I have met over the past few years. Pretty good runner, too.
Oh, he's something else. Take a look at the right guard here, Mr. Menifee, pulling and trapping. He's going to trap the outside backer, Ford. Actually, it's a kick-out block at the fullback position. Menifee doing a pretty good job. Fullback leads up inside. That's a nice little effort right there. The old G block. Onside guard pulls the trap.
Usually when OSU's in that one back, you're looking for Alonzo Mays. This time again, Simmons is going to be stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of about 3 on the play. Led by number 59, Brian Craycraft, the senior out of Mesa, Arizona. Speaking of keys to victory, let's see what it will take for OSU to secure a win.
Well, Oklahoma State wants to move the chains, and this doesn't have to be big chunks yardage today. Just consistently moving the chains. They want to force Corby Jones to pitch the football. They don't want him to hurt them on the option. They want to hold Missouri to less than 3 yards per carry defensively.
Well, they give him only a loss of 1 on the play. 2nd and 11. The pitch back to Simmons. Make sure he gets a hold of it before he takes off. A little bobble. Able to get up to the 37 for Nathan Simmons, who is playing for his father, and he says that is something he truly enjoys.
Oh, it's very special to me. When I found out my father was getting this job, my decision to come to college, there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to come help him build at Oklahoma State. It's a one-in-a-lifetime chance to play for your father at a Division I level, and I just thank the Lord, for giving me the opportunity to play for such a great man. He's my blood, so I love him.
Kevin Brown, a fullback, the lone setback. Lindsey. That is a design play. Takes off, got the first down, and a couple to spare. Getting back to Nathan Simmons, yesterday, David, we were talking to Nathan. Here's a guy that had more credit hours than anybody in the history of OSU as a freshman. He's going to graduate this year, degree in psychology, wants to help youth. What an exceptional young man.
Oh, he really is. And any father will say that the biggest contribution they make to society is the next generation. And I'll tell you what, Coach Bob Simmons, he's proud of a lot of things with this football team, but he's got to be most proud of the next generation Simmons. Nathan Simmons is going to make a mark on society, let me tell you.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys. 8 minutes gone by here in the first. Look out for the reverse. Here it comes to R.W. McQuarters. Crosses the 50. Look out! Touchdown, Oklahoma State. Missouri has given up 34 plays of better than 20 yards. McQuarters scamper covers 56 and puts OSU on the board.
Well, he's the fastest guy, or one of the fastest guys on the football team. They want to get the ball in his hands when he's out on the field offensively and take advantage of every opportunity. And they did, and they got him involved in the running game with the reverse.
Tim Sidness, the sophomore out of Oklahoma City, on attack on the extra point, hasn't missed one this year. And it remains such. R.W. McQuarters' first rushing touchdown. It covers 56, and OSU leads by 7.
Bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. Bodies at motion tend to get thirsty. Now pay attention. Get iced tea, get Gatorade. Get Gatorade, get Gator points. Get Gator points, get Big 12 gear. When you get Big 12 gear, you tend to get noticed by members of the opposite sex. The kind that would otherwise spit in your direction. I've seen it, it happens. So, get Gatorade, get Gator points, get Big 12 gear.
He said, what? I'll be there for 10 minutes max. Do not start without me. Slow down, you're gonna get us killed. You're driving like a bat out of Hades.
Traveling's an adventure. Where you stay shouldn't be. Fairfield Inn by Marriott.
Performance. It's my job. You need the right technology. You need the right skills. You need the right equipment. You need the right gasoline. And you need the right motor oil. You need to use your 9-iron.
Good thing he can drive.
Go.
Robert William McQuarters, they call him the franchise, had an 82-yard punt return for a touchdown versus Texas. Now he tacks on a 56-yard reverse against Missouri. Let's take a look at that run again. You saw that developing from where we were sitting, and it was obvious.
Well, McQuarters is the guy that's going to reverse, but watch all the action go to the right. Everybody starts to pursue defensively. A nice little pirouette block by the left guard. He gets out in front, left tackle. The two big guys get their blocks out in the perimeter, and then it's just a speed deal. Carlos Posey can't catch up with McQuarters. Just a speed mismatch. But a little pirouette by the left guard to get himself out in position to make a block on that play. That's Josh Henson. And left tackle Camacho, they did a nice job of forming a wall all the way to the left sideline from McQuarters. He took advantage of it.
And Russ Schwetman, the redshirt freshman out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Watch the pooch kick. Oklahoma State has been working on a kick to try to hit between the 40 and the 35. He pops it up a little too deep.
Yeah, it's not windy enough yet. When the wind is a big factor, that's a good technique.
It is West. He has some running room. Dive forward up to the 40 as we take a look at our Mazda scoring drive for the Cowboys. Didn't take them long. 5 plays to cover the 80 yards. They did it in just over 2 minutes.
All on the ground. 5 rushes of the football, and of course the big one, the 56-yard reverse. R.W. McQuarters. I'll tell you, this guy is a factor. He returns kicks. He plays offense, plays corner, plays safety. One of the most versatile players in college football by far.
But can he dance?
He can do it all.
Okay.
He's got the moves now.
No wonder they call him the franchise. Oklahoma State moving a lot on the defensive line. Weston Blackwell in the backfield. Blackwell busting his way, carrying people like Kenyatta Wright, number 7, up to the 45-yard line.
If you're an offensive lineman or a quarterback, watch the down linemen. They've all moved that spot. They all moved one to their left. They didn't line up there initially. They didn't start there initially, and they lined up. They jumped during the cadence to their left. Corby Jones ran the ball right into the overshift.
Most of the time, Oklahoma State doesn't move a whole lot once the quarterback gets his hands under the center. Penalty flag is thrown. It'll be a motion call against Ernest Blackwell, the fullback. Started moving a little too quickly. That'll push him back. But that's interesting because you were talking about the line and all the movement. Rob Ryan says we're going to stem a lot in this football game. Right. We want to try to confuse Corby Jones a little bit.
Well, they want to confuse him pre-snap, and they want to confuse him.
5-yard penalty. Remain second down.
They want to confuse him pre-snap, and they want to confuse him during the play. The key is when you stem or move your defensive lineman up front, you can't do it too early in the snap count. You do it too soon, it gives the quarterback time to audibilize out of a bad play and check to a good one. You have to time it in the snap count. When the quarterback gets his hands under the center, that means that he's already into his cadence. If you stem late, they can't make an adjustment. A lot of times they'll run in the wrong direction.
On 2nd and 9, ball on the 40 for the Tigers. Jones has to pull it down and run it. He crosses the 50 and takes quite a shot as he goes to the 48-yard line. Jack Golden, the junior out of Harvey, Illinois, really put a hit on Corby Jones.
Well, Golden's a former tight end. He's athletic. Now he's playing linebacker. He played linebacker in high school. Corby Jones feels the brunt of Golden. Ooh, good pop right there. That's nice contact.
Good contact. Pick up the 12 on the play. 1st and 10 now for the Tigers. OSU showing 5 on the line of scrimmage, and they continue to move. Missouri with Devin West. As believe it or not, the sun breaks out here in Stillwater. I think we're going to have just about every kind of weather we'll have today, huh?
I think we're going to see the seasons here in one day, all 4 of them.
We welcome you to Lewis Field in Stillwater. It is a wet, rainy, damp day, although the sun broke out for about 5 seconds. A lot of brave people on hand to see this football game as the number 12 Oklahoma State Cowboys with a perfect 6-0 record. You have to go back to 1945 to find an OSU team that started the season 6-0. Along with Dave Lapham and Jim Knox, I'm Ron Doolin. 2nd and 6 for Missouri, ball on the 45-yard line. Weston Blackfield in the I formation. Blackwell bounces to the outside. He has some speed, carrying people as he crosses the 25. Run out of bounds at the 21. Ricky Thompson, the junior, and Trent Alexander tried to bring him down, but boy, Blackwell at 6'3", 235 pounds, just seemed to carry everybody.
Let's try to take a look again one more time at what we're talking about with stemming. Watch the interior defensive linemen all move one man to their left before the snap of the football. They move over in that direction, and they're trying to get Corby Jones and the Missouri offense to run to the overload, which happens. They get Blackwell to run to the overload, and still, he's so big and strong, he misses tackles. Oklahoma State makes some missed tackles. Oklahoma State got what they wanted, but Blackwell executed.
That was the pickup of 24. Jones rolls out, looks for somebody, has a man wide open, and we're going to be tied up.
Brooks.
Eddie Brooks, the 6'1 junior out of Blue Springs, Missouri. His 16th reception of the year and his 2nd touchdown of 97.
Well, what you have there is just a brain cramp in the secondary coverage. I mean, you can't. Somebody missed an assignment big time. He was 15 yards open every way you looked at him. Nobody was within earshot of Brooks. And that's a guy that they wanted to take out of the offense. Blackwell, Brooks, and Corby Jones were the 3 guys that they felt the Oklahoma State defensive coaching staff felt were the keys to this football game for the Missouri offense.
Scott Nickman out of St. Louis, Missouri to tack on the extra point. He's only missed 1 this year. He is now 22 of 23. With 4:14 left in the first, the Tigers have bounced right back. We're not enough at 7. And Missouri knew that they had to come in with a balanced attack today. They want to rush the football, but Corby Jones has to play efficiently and effectively if they want to secure a victory.
They want to play well early, and they have. They've matched the intensity of Oklahoma State here early on.
Dante Hill from about the 7. Arm tackling. He has some room. Flips the defense, trips as he crosses the 30. R.W. McQuarters may have got a foot on him, his own teammate. Let's take a look at that Missouri TD once again.
Yeah, here's Brooks. He's going to run a little route. Watch Golden. He just lets him go, and then nobody in the secondary reacts. And the guy that you'd expect maybe to react is Ricky Thompson. He bites underneath, as does Williams. Thompson and Williams cover 1 receiver. Nobody takes the deep quadrant to the left side of the field with Brooks. Brain cramp. Somebody's playing man, somebody's playing zone. Somebody missed the call. Result, touchdown, wide open.
OSU is their highest ranking since the end of the 88 season, number 12. They will keep it on the ground. Bouncing around is Simmons. He's able to cross the 40 up to the 41-yard line. That'll be just about a yard short of the first down. Our monster scoring drive for the Missouri Tigers from high above Lewis Field. 5 plays, covering 61 yards and 230 plus. And they did it with a combination of running and passing. Pickup of about 8 on the play, 3:35 to play in the first. Lindsey will go the first quarter. Chris Olupka, the sophomore, will probably play most of the second quarter for Oklahoma State, depending on the game. The quarter's in motion, sets up to the right. Lindsey looks him off. He is in trouble, running out of real estate, and he is going to be knocked down, and boy, that's close to a penalty.
Boy, what you do there is just throw that ball down the sideline to your girlfriend in the stand. You throw that ball away. You take the quarterback sack there, and that's you. I mean, just overthrow your receiver. You're out of the pocket. You can throw that football away. And no flag or anything, no call on the sideline, but Lindsey's just got to unload and not make it third and long, make it a third and short, a convertible situation. Well, he was definitely out of bounds.
He was definitely out of bounds.
Justin Wyatt hit him when he was 2 or 3 yards out of bounds. Is there a flag on that sideline or not? It doesn't look like they're spotting the ball back at the 34-yard line. So third and 9 instead of what should have been third and 2nd, third and 3, third and 3 if he throws it away.
That's a tough call. 3rd and 9 for the Cowboys on the 33-yard line. Loss of 8 on the play. Closing in on 3 minutes, and Tony Lindsey's going to burn their 2nd time out of the quarter.
Well, that could come back to hurt him a little bit right before the half if they're in a 2-minute drill.
Now, this is a battle of Bowling Green alums. Larry Smith, an alumnus of Bowling Green. Bob Simmons, an alumnus of Bowling Green. And Larry Smith called last week's victory over Texas the 2nd best of his career, second only to the victory over Kansas in '96. Boy, I tell you what, they put out a show last week.
Well, they did. This football team showed some resiliency. Brock Olivo has a big touchdown run. Then Corby Jones gets involved himself, give him a 2-way go on the perimeter, run-pass option. He shows a couple of moves with that footwork, and 13 yards later it's in the end zone. A wrong formation. Brooks, the tight end's on the wrong side of the formation. But Blackwell, one stiff arm, another stiff arm as he takes him 67 yards down the sideline to pay dirt for a huge play, big play. So, I mean, that's when you know things are going well. When you're in the wrong formation, you still run the play, and the play goes for a 67-yard touchdown. Then you know you're blessed that day.
Now you see the Larry Smith foul, 12th most wins among active coaches in his 4th year. At both Tulane and also Arizona, he has put together a winning season, and he's hoping that will happen here at Missouri as the Tigers look to go 5-3 for the first time since 1983.
This is the impressive deal right there. One of only 4 active coaches to take 3 or more teams to bowl games. That means that everywhere he's gone, he's turned around and taken it back to a level of excellence if they've never been there before.
Kevin Brown now the full 60-pound Alistair, Oklahoma, 3rd and 9 for the Cowboys. Lindsey slips as he tries to plant, lets it fly, passes complete to Alonzo Mays. And he will have the first down. Lindsey's back foot, when he went to pass, it seemed to go out from underneath him, but he was able to get his footing and throw one to Mays for his 22nd reception of the year.
Oh, the big fella is the primary target. You know, Mays ran a little route, a little option route down the middle, and Mays found a little bit of a crease. Took advantage of it, caught the football right in front of the linebacker and safety involved in that play. Pretty good route. Excellent recognition by Lindsey, and he delivered the ball in a timely fashion.
Well, Missouri knew that when Oklahoma State had their back to the wall, probably they would go to Alonzo Mays. 1st and 10 on the 44 inside of 3 minutes. Simmons, running room, spinning as he crosses the 50 down to the 47-yard line.
Get a nice tight spin on Posey. Posey's right there, 5 yards down the field. I mean, this could have been only a 5-yard gain. He turns it into a lot more. Breaks one arm tackle. Not Posey, I take that back. Julian Jones is the guy that he makes the tight pivot on. Picks up some extra yards. Nice spin move right there.
A gain of 8 sets up a 2nd and 2. 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Lindsey's going to run the option. Takes the pitch, and he is going to be corralled right about the line of scrimmage. Marquise Gibson was in on that. Sam Joshua, number 51, the senior out of Miami, Florida, from that outside linebacker spot, also in on it. They had a bunch of people. That's one thing Missouri did against Texas last week, I think, was so impressive when we looked at the tape. They gang tackled. In Kansas State, they said they were embarrassed of their tackling at times, especially on Bishop. But last week against UT, Dave, they had 4 or 5 guys around the football.
That is the key. Any successful defense is running to the ball. I mean, you can't leave your teammate out there on an island one-on-one tackling. You have to gang tackle, get a few helmets around him, pepper him.
On 3rd and 2, the option. Whoa, Lindsey's going to be stacked up right at the 45, and that will be good for a first down.
That's what happens when you leave your feet. You leave your feet and you can get detonated. Take a look at the interior play. Double teaming on Jones. Jones splits the double team, and he's the guy that's involved. As Lindsey tries to go airborne, Donnell Jones, they tried a little backside scoop, center release to the linebacker level, and the backside guard cut him down. They couldn't cut Jones, and he pursued down the line and made the big hit. Quite a play.
Yeah, past 2 games, Lindsey has rushed for over 250 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jamal Fobbs tripped up as he crosses the 45 down to about the 43. Jamal Fobbs, whose father is one of the coaches down at Baylor. What a 1-2 punch with Simmons and Fobbs. Fobbs just a redshirt freshman out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Fobbs is a guy that has got tremendous hands, very unselfish football player, averaging over 5 yards a carry, very, very efficient as a running back. That's pretty good productivity out of a pair of young backs, Simmons and Fobbs. That's a nice 1-2 punch, as you say, Ron.
Final 35 seconds here in the first. We're tied up at 7. Brown and Fobbs, I formation. Lindsey to Fobbs. Trying to tiptoe through some tulips and not going to be able to get a whole lot. That may be the last play of the first quarter. It has been a wet first quarter. We've had some sun. The wind is beginning to kick up a lot here in Stillwater, and Larry Smith's troops find themselves tied at 7.
You know, one thing that when you have a defensive football team that tries to battle with quickness like Coach Smith does, they try to work by moving and being quick. You think a wet field might deter that effort, but it hasn't. Missouri has stayed right with it. We get a tie game as a result.
We know personalized service is the secret to success, no matter what business you're in. That's why Iowa Office Supply is
The score in the first half versus this OSU defense, and as we begin the second, we're tied at 7. 3rd down and 7. Ball on the Missouri 42-yard line for the Cowboys. Lindsey, he's going to keep it himself. He is going to be dropped short of the first down by Donnell Jones, the senior out of St. Louis, Missouri, who had a great game against the Cowboys last year, taking care of business again this afternoon, and now the Cowboys facing a 4th down play. They're 9 of 10 this year on 4th, but they're going to kick this one away.
Boy, what an effort by Jones. I mean, he hustled, separated from that play. If Lindsey can get away from that ankle tackle by Jones, he has big yards, but Jones runs him down from behind. He's got a little monumental field goal attempt right here.
Well, it's spotted at the 45 for Tim Sidness. This will be a 55-yarder with the win. He slips as he goes to kick it, and the ball's going to be short. Wow. Well, Jim Knox talked about the slippery field at the start of our telecast, and Tim Sidness got first-hand example of it on that play. We're 1 play into the second quarter. We are tied at 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
Fletcher, it looks like you've got 12 months.
12 months to live?
No, 12 months to pay for your new Big Sur waterbed.
Right now at Big Sur Waterbeds, buy that beautiful new waterbed or bedroom you've always wanted and make no down payment, pay no interest, and make no payments for 12 months.
Now, about these x-rays.
Big Sur Waterbeds, America's largest waterbed retailer.
We know personalized service is the secret to success, no matter what business you're in. That's why Iowa Office Supply is committed to providing you the same kind of service you give your customers. Iowa Office Supply. When it comes to service, we mean business. Throughout Iowa and neighboring states, businesses go shopping for success, and Iowa Office Supply delivers. Discover what our personalized service can do for you. Give us a call. Iowa Office Supply. When it comes to your success, we mean business.
Tim Sidness slipping on the 55-yard attempt. Score remains tied at 7. The Oklahoma State Cowboys have outscored opponents 85-14 in the second quarter this year, but Corby Jones and the Tigers coming off a 500-yard-plus performance against UT last week. obviously have the potential to do that again today. First and 10, ball on the 38 for Missouri. Olivo and James in the backfield. Jones out in the flat. Pass is complete to Corey Coleman, the senior out of Harbor City, California. His 11th reception on the year.
You know, that time you could tell that Corby Jones was checking at the line of scrimmage. Brock Olivo leaned forward to hear the calls, the signals by Corby Jones at the line of scrimmage. A high percentage of the time, about one of every 3 plays today, Corby Jones is going to have to get them out of a bad play into a good one or check the protection, because of everything Oklahoma State does defensively up front to confuse the offensive line.
Pickup of 6. Olivo, after the pitch, bangs his way up to the 50-yard line. Trent Alexander took a hit on it. Let's check in with Jim Knox on the sideline. Jim, are you dry?
So far, so good right now, Ron. And, Ron, last series out, OSU defensive coordinator Rob Ryan not pleased his team gave up that touchdown. In fact, they were in the zone defense. What went wrong is this. Instead of one of the defensive backs covering his territory, he bit on the run, and that's what left the man wide open during that last series. So afterwards, Rob Ryan let his defensive backs know that that will definitely not happen again.
Probably in no uncertain terms, too, Dave.
Oh, yeah, he makes himself clear.
Oh, I bet he does. On first and 10, ball right at midfield. Little play action. Jones has to tuck it in and take off. He has another first down as he scampers out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Great job by Corby Jones. Terrell Knowles really put the pressure on him as Jones tries to get his hands dry.
Yeah, and here's a guy, they want to try to get the ball out of his hands if they possibly can, because he makes plays. Watch the defensive line stem once again. They move a full man to the weak side of the formation, away from the tight end. And Corby Jones, even though they do that, he runs right into that overshift, and because of his athletic ability, this tackle leads a big play.
Straight up the middle is Ron James. They call him Rhino. 276 pounds senior out of Clarence, Missouri.
You know, one thing that Missouri is doing a good job of, when they see Oklahoma State stacking the outside a little bit defensively to take away the pitch in the perimeter plays in Missouri, they're going to hammer it up inside with their 270-pound plus force. Ron James, Rhino, they call him, and for good reason. The guy bench presses the world and he squats the universe.
Sun peeks out from behind the clouds, the fog, and the rain momentarily on 2nd and 7 for the Tigers. Olivo tapped up after a pickup of 1 by Trent Alexander, the junior out of Tulsa, coming up from that strong safety spot. Oklahoma State was sort of issued a challenge in the newspaper earlier this week. Missouri coaches saying that their offensive line can blow holes in anybody, and they think they can run the football in. You asked Rob Ryan, is that on any bulletin board? He goes, it's in everybody's locker.
Exactly, it's in everybody's locker. And Larry Smith basically was trying to fire his own team up to show his guys, look, I've got confidence in you guys. I don't care what Oklahoma State thinks. I want you to know that I believe that you folks up front can get it done. We'll see how it works here.
On 3rd and 5, the Tigers 1 of 2 this afternoon so far on 3rd down possibilities. Jones has a man wide open. It is Corey Coleman. Touchdown, Missouri.
Oklahoma State came with the blitz, and they get burned. Thompson in man coverage gets taken apart. Big play. One of the keys for Missouri. When the big play opportunity presents itself, you have to capitalize. And Missouri did exactly that. Kenyatta Wright is the inside linebacker that blitzes. Missouri's offensive line does a good enough job of picking him up. And once you go in a blitz like that, a lot of times you have man coverage behind it, and the man coverage was destroyed.
33-yard touchdown pass. Jones to Coleman. Well, Larry Smith is obviously very pleased with his troop. His much-maligned wide receivers are producing. We'll be back after this word from Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottlers.
These days, it seems like everything is the official something of somebody. What's next? The official soft drink, the team mascot? Look at this guy right here, and this one here, and his girlfriend, and his kid. See, they're drinking Dr. Pepper just because it tastes great. It's kind of the official...
Citgo, just get up and go. Citgo says go. By Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. Missouri wanted to start out quickly. Thanks to Torrey Coleman's 2 receptions covering 39 yards and the touchdown. The Tigers lead the Cowboys 14-7. Oklahoma State felt their defensive backs can cover anybody. They weren't really overly concerned about the wide receivers of Missouri. Maybe they will be now.
Well, they got a wide receiver, Coleman, matched up on a safety. Thompson the coverage in the wide out one.
Look out. Here comes McQuarters again. What a fumble! Missouri trying to pick it up. Still loose. Who's going to come up with the football? Bodies everywhere. And Missouri will have it.
I think it was Posey that tried to pick it up and run with it from Missouri initially. All he should have done was fall on the football, but it didn't cost his football team as they got more yards toward the end zone as Julian Jones comes up with the fumble recovery. Take a look at the kickoff return here once again. McQuarters hits his team really well, and the ball is punched out of there by Gibson. And right there, you see Posey trying to pick it up when he really shouldn't. But Jones is Johnny on the spot and saves the play.
Oklahoma State did not play last week. Getting a true test today as Brock Olivo straight ahead. Let's go back just a series ago to the touchdown for the Missouri Tigers that gave them the lead.
You see Kenyatta right here is going to blitz, and he gets picked up effectively by the offensive line, and Jones vacates the pocket. Now you see Trent Alexander in the slot. That's a defensive back. As a result, there's man coverage down the football field. You have a safety, Thompson, locked up in man coverage on Coleman. It was no contest. Big play by Missouri. They capitalized.
Again, the Oklahoma State defense stuffing the Missouri running attack. Ron James, not much running room.
Well, what Oklahoma State has to do right here now is bow their back and limit this to nothing but a field goal opportunity. I mean, it's interesting. This Missouri, they have so many ways to attack you in the running game. It caused Oklahoma State to get vanilla defensively. They're not stunting as much up front. They're not blitzing quite as much. And it's hurting them.
Red zone opportunity for Oklahoma or for Missouri. Facing the 3rd and 8. Ball is on the 12. Jones keeps it. Stuck. Jamal Williams, number 99, the junior out of Washington, D.C., who is so hard to block. He's their best rusher. Just good call.
You know, Ron, this starts to make me think about the bye week, the week off. Oklahoma State was on a roll. 6 straight wins. When you're on a roll, you normally don't like the bye week because you lose some of that edge and some of that intensity, and I think that has happened to Oklahoma State here a little bit. They've lost some of that edge they had when they're on such a roll.
Murkison, the holder. Nickman to kick it away at the 17 for the field goal. And he nailed it. Scott Nickman now 8 of 9 on the year, and he has given the Tigers a bigger lead. 17-7, Missouri on top of OSU.
Oh no, it's broke.
If you have a broken door or need a replacement door, call Iowa River Door. Because when it comes to newer replacement overhead doors, Iowa River Door offers great selection, including Clopay. Clopay doors have the best warranties in the industry and the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. At Iowa River Door Company, family ownership assures you a prompt personal service before, during, and after the sale. And expert installation means a job done right.
Iowa River Door fixed it.
We know doors. Iowa River Door.
Menards has great deals for your home. Update your bag.
One defensive back, Posey, tries to be a hero when he shouldn't have, but his teammate Jones ultimately ends up the hero as he falls on the football. Doesn't try to pick it up and run. Ball on that slick pigskin.
Nickman set to kick it away. R.W. McQuarters standing on about his 7th. Kicking into the wind. It is a high kick, going to be short. Taken by Dante Hill. Not much running room. Oklahoma State will have it. Wait a minute, they're trying to make sure that the whistle blew, and I think it did. He was down. Well, while they sort things out, let's take a look at other games from around the country, and there's some big ones. Another undefeated team, Toledo, tied up with Bowling Green, the alma mater of Larry Smith, and also Bob Simmons. Iowa all over Indiana in a big battle up in Michigan. It is Michigan State in the 2nd. Mississippi leading Alabama also in the 2nd. How about about Tulsa and Colorado State? Postponed because of snow, so Moses Moreno and company not going to be able to play today. Chris Halupka in at quarterback, the 6'2 sophomore. He's the thrower of the group. And he will loft it up looking for his tight end, and it's incomplete. Mays never had a shot at that. He was sandwiched, and now we have a penalty flag thrown.
Yeah, I wonder if they're saying that there was a little bumping and grinding going on with Ford and Piercy as they were covering Mays. I mean, Halupka forced that, though. It was double coverage. They had him bracketed with a linebacker and a safety, and that's what they're going to do with Mays quite a bit, that old bracket coverage. And that time, they did a good job on that, but are they going to call Mays for pushing off? They're going to call, and Mays is looking at the officials like, are you serious? Are they going to call him for offensive pass interference and pushing off, trying to make the play? But Halupka, I don't think you make that throw into double coverage like that.
Not a smart move, especially when you're trailing 17-7 and the other team has the momentum.
And Halupka is the guy that's in to throw the football. Lindsey, they use a different part of the offense. It's the same offense, but a different emphasis on play selection.
After review of the flag,
the flag up.
Picked up.
They're saying no foul on either side of the football, and I think that's a good call. There wasn't anything that gave one player an advantage over the other trying to make a play here. They say Mays, they thought that Mays might have pushed off a little bit on Ford, but I don't know. I think that's a good no call. And you don't throw the ball in double coverage like that. Halupka has got 5 touchdown passes and only 1 interception. He's the guy that's the pocket passer. They emphasize that phase of the game plan with him.
Now, Ford had a piece of Mays jersey as he crossed about 7 yards deep, too. Halupka, the slant pattern is incomplete. Off the hands of Sean Love, the junior out of Oklahoma City. He is considered a dependable receiver.
Boy, that one was there, too. There were yards after catch if he secures that football. Halupka made it a little bit tough on him, though. It was a catchable football, but a little bit tough on him.
You saw Halupka's left hand as we look at the numbers of Sean Love. Halupka having a kind of a soft cast on that left wrist.
Yeah, Halupka fighting through injury. I mean, he had an ankle injury. The week off was good for Halupka and Akins, the fullback, as they healed up some ankle injuries.
3rd and 10, ball on the 30 for the Cowboys. Halupka straight back. Here comes the pressure. Lets it fly. What a catch by Mays! Wow! Oh, baby!
He's fallen. He slips, and he's fallen to the turf, and as he goes down, still makes an adjustment on the football. That is eye-hand coordination to the utmost right there. That's athletic gift right there. Just a tremendous play. Halupka is in the pocket once again. Protection adequate. He gets drilled after he releases the football. And Mays, as he loses his balance and is going down, makes a full adjustment to the ball thrown behind him. What a play.
Pickup of 17. Mo Ankney, the defensive coordinator for Missouri, calls Mays the best player in the Big 12. Halupka may have turned the wrong way. Lets it slide. It's complete again to Mays.
Well, they're forcing the issue there, but he's responding.
Boy, I tell you what, Halupka, not a very well-thrown football. He kind of got away with it.
Let's take a look at what Mays does here. They put him in motion. They bring him back, and then they bring him back the other way again and release him, trying to confuse the linebackers. They end up getting Odom and Easter in the vicinity. Halupka throws into double coverage again, but good enough for his receiver, Mays. He's got that size advantage. He feels get it up, and the big fellow will get it.
2nd and 5 after a pickup of 5. They keep it on the ground with the fullback, Kevin Brown, out of McAlester, Oklahoma. Now, one thing the Missouri coaches knew, if they were to secure a victory today, they had to stop number 85, Alonzo Mays.
Well, he's their go-to guy. I mean, you look at the tapes, and every time they get down the red zone, you know, they're going to be looking for him, and he's been very successful. And he's a great football player. He burned us last year big time. They moved him around a lot. They hit him and got him out on some waggle passes and beat us in man coverage. he can do it all. You know, we just don't want to make him mad. I think he came into Columbia last year a little mad and took it out. So I hope he's feeling a little better about himself this year and isn't quite as mad and plays great against us.
Well, Oklahoma State shot themselves in the foot. Facing 3rd and 1, they get called for a false start. Now it's 3rd and 6, and that changes the play call completely.
Absolutely. Horse of a different color entirely. And with Halupka in the game, though, I'm sure Mays is the guy to watch again. I mean, Missouri's double covering him. They're putting a linebacker and a safety, either strong or free safety with an outside linebacker on Mays every.
He crossed. Still back. Justin Wyatt also there to clean things up.
Oklahoma State that time doing a good job of spreading the field, spreading Missouri out. They feel like they get a little bit more speed on the perimeter, on the edges. That time they lined Ruben Mays up all the way outside to the right side of the offensive formation and came back to the left side, running a slant pass to that left side, executing with Willie Grissom. Nice job by Haluka and Grissom, and when you pay much attention to Mays, somebody else has to step up and hurt you, and that's what Grissom did.
On 1st and 10, OSU will keep it on the ground. Nathan Simmons dancing his way down to the 35. Ryan Craycraft, number 59 on the top. He's probably their best defensive player this year, has really stepped up this year.
Well, they're active. I mean, they're not the biggest defensive front in college football by any stretch. Their defensive front four averages between 250 and 255. You throw the linebackers in the mix, and it's down in the 240s. So they don't beat you with size. They beat you with intensity and quickness.
Well, intensity is something that has been part of their practices the last 2 weeks. Haluka, play action pass, thrown behind the intended receiver, Sean Love.
Sean Love thinks he was interfered with. His opportunity to try to make a catch on that. He felt like he was being grabbed from behind.
Terrence Binion, number 12, the senior out of St. Louis, Missouri, on the coverage.
Haluka in the pocket, pretty secure. Nice job by the fullback. Little play action fake to the fullback. He picks up the blitzer on the outside. The ball is thrown behind. And really, there's not much of an opportunity to Love to catch this football, and you don't make a call on that. It really was not that catchable football.
OSU 5 of 7 on 3rd down this afternoon. They face 3rd and 7 now. Haluka's pass too high. Again intended for Sean Love.
Oh, it looked like the timing wasn't there. Love came out of his break late as opposed to when Haluka released the football. I mean, it was just disjointed a little bit between receiver and quarterback. The ball was on top of Love before he expected it. So I don't know if Haluka threw it too soon or Love was too late coming out of his break.
Well, they're bringing Tim Sidness on, who attempted a 45-yarder or 55-yarder earlier, slipped and fell. He's going to try it again. This will be spotted at the 42. A 52-yarder for Tim Sidness.
He's got two different shoes on. His plant foot is one type of turf shoe, and his kick foot is totally different.
He is with the wind. Good snap, good hold, bad kick.
Came across that. I mean, he just outside swing. I mean, it wasn't a golf swing. It was more like a softball bat swing.
It was a Hoyt Wilhelm knuckleball. 6:18 left to play in the second. 17-7 Missouri on top, led by quarterback Corby Jones. And last year, Corby Jones set a Missouri quarterback rushing mark against these Oklahoma State Cowboys.
A lot of people think that Corby Jones in the past couple of years has been a running back at quarterback. And last year, he really showed that he does have running ability. 193 yards on the ground. He did it short, he did it long, averaging over 10 yards a pop, rushed for 3 touchdowns. Corby Jones has the total package as a runner. He's got the quick feet, he's got the strong body. He's very, very tough to defend when you give him a two-way go.
Once again, the sun is shining on Missouri as they lead 17-7. Oklahoma State fumbling on one play, led to a Missouri field goal. Sideline warning on Missouri.
They want to make sure Missouri is more than 5 yards back from the sideline. That's one thing, your sideline decorum. You have to be disciplined. You can't be hugging the sideline, or the officials will give you a warning the second time it's a penalty.
Split backfield for the Tigers. They have been able to run their running plays tightly. They have been able to pick up chunks of yardage. Still on his feet, Devin West.
On the carry, number 32, Devin
The
West.
junior out of Moberly, Missouri, a pre-med major, wants to be a surgeon when he graduates from Missouri.
You know, one thing that Missouri continues to do is to make Oklahoma State play more of a base defense and just beat you with technique. And in the past, most of the season, Oklahoma State has enjoyed an ability to slant and to crisscross their defensive linemen up front and stunt. Not so this afternoon. The only thing they're doing is shifting and stemming, but they're not crisscrossing and trying to confuse. They feel like they can't do that against Missouri.
After the pickup of 9, 2nd and 1 for the Tigers. Jones, 3-step drop, pass is complete at the 50-yard line.
Pass from Jones, complete on the right.
Jay Murkison, the senior out of Richmond, Virginia, also plays on the specialty team. He's originally a walk-on. with the reception, his 8th of the year.
That's the route that receivers and quarterback Corby Jones feel the most comfortable with, the old curl. And they'll run it at different quadrants of the football field. It's a timing pattern. When it's 2nd and 1, your entire game plan is wide open to you. You can run the football, you can throw it because it's a throwaway down. If it's incomplete, you have 3rd and short. So your whole game plan is wide open.
On 1st and 10, Lehman goes in motion. Ball out of the 50 again for Missouri. OSU bringing a bunch of people. Jones steps up. He's going to launch it. Wide open. Overthrown. Wow. Jay Murchison was wide open and throwing against the wind. Corby Jones just let it go too much.
Corby Jones does a great job of avoiding a sack, but we'll take a look at how open Murchison is right off the bat. A broken coverage once again. I mean, there's bad communication going on out there between safeties and corner in their zone or man-to-man responsibilities. And Murchison just, nobody takes him deep. Thompson drops coverage, and Williams and Thompson were talking about it after the snap, trying to straighten it out. You can't have jailbreak in the secondary like that.
2nd and 10. Jones will change the play at the line of scrimmage. He has 4 to snap it. Barely gets it off. The pitch to West. Some running room short of the first down by a yard. Kevin Williams, the senior out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, number 5 on the stop.
One of the keys for Oklahoma State was to make Corby Jones pitch. But you can't take the quarterback with 2 defenders and have nobody on the pitch man. You have to make sure you still know what your defensive responsibilities are. Somebody takes the quarterback and detonates him. Somebody's got the pitch man. That time, Oklahoma State, another defensive mistake. 2 guys hit Corby Jones. Nobody takes the pitch man. Oklahoma State defense right now, self-destructive.
3rd and 1. 5 on the line of scrimmage for the Cowboys. Showing blitz. Jones will change it, has 2 to snap it. He's going to have to call a timeout.
Well, they stemmed up front with the defensive line. They walked the linebacker up in there. He wasn't sure if the blitz was coming. So, I mean, they got him checking and rechecking and checkmate and call timeout.
Well, you know, we talked about it last night after talking to the Missouri coaches that we felt that Corby Jones is being asked to do an awful lot of things today. They were putting a lot on him as far as checking up at the line of scrimmage.
No question, Ron. I mean, they felt that Jerry Brandt, the offensive coordinator, and Larry Smith, the head man, felt that Corby Jones, 1 out of every 3 plays at the line of scrimmage, he was going to have to check or audibilize to get them out of a bad play into a good one, or check protection. They were in a protection where the defensive front was going to blow it up. He has to check that protection, keep a tight end in, help maximum protect, or keep a running back in. And that time, Rob Ryan's defense got in Corby Jones' head a little bit and got him really thinking the wheels were turning. You can see smoke coming out of the ear holes of his helmet. They had to call the timeout.
Well, Missouri plays 11 consecutive weeks. They don't get a whole lot of off time, and they have to go to Colorado on November the 1st, and they end up with Nebraska and Baylor at home, obviously looking for that 6th-win plateau so they can at least get in contention for a bowl. And for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, they are closing out a 5-game home streak here at Lewis Field in Stillwater. Bob Simmons has to go to College Station next week, try to avenge last year's loss to the Sooners the week following. Last home game will be against Tech on the 15th, then they travel to Waco to take on Dave Roberts and his aggressive bunch of Baylor Bears. 3rd down and 1, 4:11 to play in the first half. Missouri with the lead in the ball. Jones, fake, pass, fake, pass is complete. Eddie Brooks on the reception.
Tremendous call by Missouri. They fake the quarterback sneak. Corby Jones comes up a little pop pass to Brooks. You know what? Oklahoma State had it defended decently, though. Thompson was running with Brooks. Corby Jones does a good job of laying the ball up there for Brooks to make a play. It wasn't as wide open as I thought it might be. You'll see, look at the tight end Brooks come off the line of scrimmage. Corby Jones fakes the quarterback sneak, then puts it up. Thompson realizes that Brooks is the man, doesn't get his head turned around to find the football, though. The reason it's complete, Brooks knows where the ball is. Thompson's totally turned around and can't find the football. What an excellent call. Fake the quarterback sneak and pop pass.
But there is a penalty. Let's see where they push it back. They're saying that Missouri was in motion. Oklahoma State was saying he put his knee down. Doesn't matter, it's coming back. What a great looking play.
Illegal formation, 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you have to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
5-yard penalty,
Missouri only had
third down.
6.
Ask John Blake about that down in Oklahoma.
Didn't have 7 men up on the line of scrimmage, no matter what you're talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Not a legal formation. Corby Jones does not touch down with his knee. He does a good job of avoiding that. But nope, there were 6 men on the line of scrimmage. You have to have a 7th up there somewhere on the line of scrimmage. They only had 6. Illegal formation, and it nullifies a great call. Tremendous execution, but you have to get lined up in the right formation to execute it.
Now the crowd standing with Missouri facing 3rd and 6. From the shotgun. Oklahoma State drops back in coverage. The pass in and out of the hands of Jay Murchison.
Well, I'll tell you, on this drive, one of the keys to the game for Missouri was take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. Overthrow Murchison, take advantage of the opportunity, line up in an illegal formation, and an opportunity that you do take advantage of is negated by self-destruction. So right now, Missouri is shoveling, the sand into the ocean, and the sand's ending up behind them due to their performance. Now, same deal. They got McQuarters back deep, but Corby Jones is going to pooch kick this inside the 20-yard line. They can either run an offensive play or pooch punt here, and Corby has to burn the time. It goes the other way. The first time they did this, Oklahoma State had to burn a timeout. This time, Oklahoma State makes an adjustment, gets McQuarters back there to field the punt, and Missouri calls the timeout.
Well, as soon as Corby Jones started to go back to kick, McQuarters was yelling. Trent Alexander, number 10, he was running up on it, trying to get the play all situated. The one thing the Oklahoma State does well, and that is their specialty teams. That is something that's very important to Bob Simmons. When he was at Colorado, he volunteered with Coach McCartney to do specialty teams. Wasn't very good. He said, we really stunk my first year. Coach McCartney challenged him to get better.
Right, and he was responsible for the punt return team at Colorado. His first year, they finished second to last in the country. He ended up going with Frank Gans up in Detroit and on an internship with the Lions, actually as a linebacker position coach. But Frank Gans taught him about the punt return team, and look at what he did. I mean, now this year, he's still responsible for the punt return team. He's got McQuarters back there, a great talent, but look at the record, the turnaround that he had at Colorado as a punt return special teams coach. Bob Simmons credits Frank Gans with that big turnaround.
Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines game summary. Missouri got on the board. Corby Jones, 32 yards rushing so far, 68 yards passing the football, 175 total yards. Tony Lindsay, 101, 6 rushes, 8 yards. He has been contained, and Tim Sidness has missed a couple of field goals from 55 and 52 yards out.
Larry, a clarification on that illegal formation on the pop pass after the fake quarterback sneak. I think that he wasn't satisfied with the call that was made out there. He's still kind of pursing his lips a little bit in semi-disgust. He's nodding his head. Okay, well, I understand, but I still don't like it. I don't know if he thought there was a gray area there, but you have to definitely have 7 men up on the line of scrimmage. One of the wide receivers did not get up on the line of scrimmage to make that a very legal formation. And Ricky Hundley is his defensive line coach talking with him a little bit over there on the sideline.
There's Ricky Hundley. Well, he looks like he can still play, can't he?
I'll tell you what, he's a pretty good linebacker now. He's knocked your face mask around a little bit.
Well, Steve-O comes in to kick it away. Once again, Corby Jones will not kick. R.W. McQuarters standing on his 10, had that 82-yard exciting punt return versus Texas, had an 83-yard punt return earlier this year. That did not go for a score. Number 1 in the conference. Steve-O's kick is high. McQuarters signals the fair catch at the 9, and that's where Oklahoma State will take over after the 37-yard punt. Trailing 17-7 here in the second quarter, 3:29 left to be played.
Once again, Ron, I think that this bye week is an issue here. I mean, you had a couple of injuries. Your backup center had a little bit of a knee injury. One of your fullbacks, one of your quarterbacks, ankle injuries. Okay, you get to heal them up a little bit. Haluka and Akins are the 2 guys that have a significant contribution to the offense. Get to heal those ankle injuries up, but you lost the momentum. You lost the edge. There's nothing like continuing to play when you're on a roll, and that momentum was interrupted by that bye week for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, trying to find it again.
And the clouds rolling in again here Simmons stacked up behind the line of scrimmage, and he is going to be gang tackled. Maybe a loss of a yard on the play. Chris Haluska remains in at quarterback for the Cowboys.
And I think they're thinking about this, the fact that they're going to be in a 2-minute drill here pretty soon. They're going to have to throw the football. They're backed up. I think they feel Haluska has a little bit better understanding of the passing attack than Lindsey does, and more reads and options, that type of thing.
And here comes the rain again. Beginning to rain, and it's coming down a little bit harder. Skies look like they're about to open up.
Looking a little ominous, aren't they?
Now it's really coming down. Haluska, 3-step drop. Pass complete to Sean Love. He's over the 25, to the 30, up to the 33-yard line. Harold Piercy and Shad Crisp finally knock him out of bounds with 2:41 to play in the half.
Well, Love made a great move on Easter. He got rid of Easter on a tight move back to the inside. The receiver knows where he's going to go after the catch. The defensive back doesn't. Good blitz pickup by the fullback, and the tight spin move inside, and Easter falls out into space. As a result, Love picks up an extra 20, 25 yards by that missed tackle.
Well, now it looks like we have a penalty flag was thrown on the play. It'll be against Oklahoma State, and they're going to be bringing it back.
Boy, another nullification of a huge play.
I never saw the flag.
Illegal shift. Illegal shift on the far side of the field is flag.
Well, the officials getting more camera time than we are today. Well, Jim Knox has his umbrella. He's not as tough as we thought he is. He has to use the umbrella. Jim, what do you got for us?
Ron, as you can see, the rain is coming down extremely hard. In fact, look for this most of the rest of the afternoon because the cold front is coming into the Stillwater area. They say they're expecting temperatures in the 40s sometime late this afternoon. They're even looking for possible snow in the area maybe tomorrow. So rain most of the day. This is what you see right here. This is what you see, and this is what you're going to get.
Hey, Jim, we're dry. Not to rub it in,
feel a lot better.
Yeah, I bet it does. Well, I tell you what, folks, it is coming down.
Those are big drops out there right now.
I'm telling you, these are some brave people in orange parkas and slickers out here.
You know, it's nice to have a 10-point lead and making the other team throw the ball in this weather condition backed up inside their own 5-yard line.
We've got a monsoon, 2nd and 15. Haluska locks it up, has a man, the pass incomplete. Intended for R.W. McQuarters, and that was awfully close to pass interference.
Well, the ball underthrown a little bit, and then the key is, did Posey get his head turned around to find the football? If he does, McQuarters and Posey both have their right to make a play on the football. McQuarters and Posey matched up, one-on-one. McQuarters a slight push-off. Posey pushes back. Boy, there was a lot of contact, back and forth. As they were running that route down the football field, the official deemed that the pushing and shoving gave no player an advantage. No call there, but they could have made one.
Now 3rd and 15. Ball is on the 4-yard line. Haluska looking to go upstairs again. Pass is complete to Mays. Tripping and stumbling as he tiptoes down the line. All the way up to the 29-yard line.
I'll tell you, whoever can keep their feet is going to win this football game. Mays was open because the defender fell down. Mays ran his route as the defender tried to make a break out of his back pedal to react to the route. He went down. Mays on the sideline. His defender right there is on the keister. That's Carlos Posey. He's on the posterior. He's not in a good spot on the football field as he tried to come out of the break.
That one-point stance doesn't help, does it?
No, it's painful, too, sometimes.
Now the rain looks like it holds up. Pass by Haluska is incomplete, intended for Sean Love.
You know, this is the type of field, Ron, where you have to stay over your feet. It's easier for the big people because they have more body mass, and they're not long striders. They don't have a long gait. I mean, they can stay over their feet very easily, stay over the balls of feet. The key is, the trick is, the skill guys, the running backs and the wide receivers have to shorten their strides, choppier steps, stay over their feet, and don't extend like they normally do, or they're going to go down on this slick curve.
2nd and 10, 2:22 left in the half. OSU trailing by 10. Haluska's pass is tipped, incomplete again. Looking for Willie Grissom slanting in from that left side.
Boy, that rain came hard. Now it's easing up here a little bit. There's going to be just rain squalls come in here and just soak the place.
Well, we could be in Boulder.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
If this rain were snow, we'd be hurting units right now.
Oklahoma State making some substitutions. Nathan Simmons coming back into the ball game. R.W. McQuarters coming in. Third down and 10. Oklahoma State 6 of 9 this afternoon in this situation.
Confusion in the offensive set. Everybody's running off the field.
It has been Mays making the big play so far on third down. Halupka's pass. Intercepted. Picked off by Harold Piercy. His first interception of the year, the junior from Kansas City, Kansas. 6th interception total for Missouri. And again, that Missouri defense stopping the Cowboys.
Well, they went empty backfield. Oklahoma State had nobody left in the backfield to help in pass protection. Halupka getting decent enough protection and trying to find a place to throw the football. Throws it late, overthrows the ball. The wet ball overthrows McQuarters badly. And Piercy does a good job of reacting to the football on the overthrow. And, you know, coming into this football game, Oklahoma State was +10. That was 4th best in the nation. Right now, they're -2 in the turnover department. And one turnover hurt them. Let's see if Missouri can capitalize on an opportunity again, which is one of their keys to this football game.
We talked about having great field position. Well, Missouri has had that at times today.
That wet ball slipped right out of Halupka's hand.
Jones, the pump fake, looking for Kent Lehman. Pass is complete into the end zone. Touchdown!
Wow. What a throw by Corby Jones. And Missouri takes advantage of the opportunity fully. They go right for the jugular. I mean, one play. They decide to just get after it. You get the takeaway, go for the gusto. And a double move by his wide receiver, who's having just an outstanding season. Double move, gets him open, and Lehman, the ball's laid out there perfectly by Corby Jones, and Lehman, he's already got 2 100-yard receiving days.
Well, not too many Missouri receivers have had that in recent years. 23-7 is the score. The extra point is good. Oklahoma State had given up only 14 second quarter points. They have given up a lot more than that today.
Great timing between Lehman and Corby Jones. It was a double move, and Corby Jones pump faked the football, giving Lehman an opportunity to run under it. Corby Jones back in the pocket. Pump fake, that's the double move. As soon as he fakes the out, Lehman takes it up the football field, and Jones throws the ball exactly where Lehman can make a play on it. And these wide receivers are doing a job slicing up this Oklahoma State secondary. Oklahoma State's making assignment mistakes in their zone coverage. That time, Kent Lehman, who's a former running back and has got good wheels, just outran the coverage.
Kent Lehman got his first start against Iowa State, had a big game in that one, 3 receptions, 115 yards, had 100 yards versus Texas, where he averaged almost 25 yards a reception. And this one gives Missouri a 24-7 lead with 2:02 left in the first half. And number 12, an undefeated Oklahoma State Cowboys have dug themselves in a big hole.
And Corby Jones, I'll tell you, he showed some arm strength there and some touch. And this is basically a bowl game opportunity for Missouri. If they can come on the road and beat the number 12 team in the country going into this game for their 5th win, all of a sudden the bowl people now sit up and take a little notice. With 6 wins, Oklahoma State's already qualified themselves for some bowl consideration. They just wonder what type of bowl. Missouri trying to get in the bowl mix, and a win on the road against number 12 will put them right in it.
Missouri has not won back-to-back games yet this year. Oklahoma State will just sit on it at the 30, and that is where they will have possession with 1:58 to play in the first half, trailing by 17. Now, Halupka has gone most of the way here in the second. Lindsey looks like he's going to be coming back into the football game.
Well, the field position, I think, would dictate that it's a little bit easier situation to put him in.
Well, he is definitely under pressure, the redshirt freshman, but he says pressure is something that does not bother him.
I've always had that with me since I was young. I've never got rattled over anything. You know, as I've grown up and played football, I've been in different situations. So, you know, when situations happen, you know, with adversity and how to deal with it, I just kind of, remember to keep a smile on my face and throw it over the shoulder and be all right.
Well, delay of game against Tony Lindsey and the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and again, shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, they came off the sideline late with the play and then didn't get up to the line of scrimmage and run it on a quick count. So there were two contributing factors to that delay of game. But you're right. I mean, you throw yourself off schedule now. first and 15 is not a very enviable place to be in as you're trying to move the football.
Not rushing the ball well this afternoon. They wanted to keep Tony Lindsay moving. His pass tipped away at the line of scrimmage, intended for number 4, Ricky Ross, or for Sean Love.
And I think it was knocked down by Odom, the linebacker. Odom got his hands up. That's the second block pass here in about 2 or 3 series. Doing a pretty good job of timing it. They're trying to run that quick slant. Well, one way to prevent a completion of that slant is get your hands up and knock the football down. Try to get in the passing lane. That's exactly what Odom did as a linebacker. He ran underneath the route, got in that passing lane, and knocked it down with the big right mucker.
Second and 15, 1:55 to play. Missouri's average start has been their own 46-yard line. The Cowboys, their own 26. They are on the 26 now. Lindsay on the option, looking to pitch it. He is going to be corralled, hog-tied, and dropped.
Very indecisive right there. Missouri had 3 defenders around him. They strung it out. The pitch man was taken. Responsibility was taken care of. The quarterback responsibility was taken care of. Missouri right now is flying high. This is a bunch of flying tigers right now. Those are dangerous tigers when they're flying.
1:30 exactly. This is our 3rd game with Missouri, and this is by far the best they have played. But Brock Olivo telling us last night, they got together a couple of weeks ago after what they called being embarrassed by Kansas State and knew that they had to pick it up a notch or 2, and they have done that.
They increased the intensity of practice. I mean, their practice intensity is just about game conditions. And they decided they're a hard-working group of seniors, but they decided they had to work a little harder. That's exactly what they've done, and they've turned their season around.
Well, we had a chance to spend some time with Brock Olivo about his practices, and he said the intensity has risen.
It's been awesome. They've been intense. They've been, I mean, here's the game speed, and here's been our practice speed right here. Whereas most practices are way down here compared to a game, where we're right up there. And so, you know, I love that. And us as a team, I think our team character, we found it now. And what it is when our backs are against the wall and we're faced with a challenge, we tend to play a little better.
You know, it was fun talking to him yesterday. He is also now back playing on specialty teams, which is something he did last year. And when you and I were talking to him, David, he started talking about coming down on the kickoff. That old boy's eyes got so big, he wanted to hit somebody.
He's the definition of a football player. He loves the sport. He loves the contact. He loves everything about it. And as the old saying goes, after listening to Brock Olivo, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And their practices have been more perfect.
You're talking coach speak over here, huh? Just got to write that one down. 1:17 to play, 3rd and 17 for Oklahoma State. Ball on their own 23-yard line. Nobody in the backfield. Lindsay looking to get it right over the middle. Pass is incomplete, intended for Jamal Fobbs.
They tried a little middle screen. They had it set up pretty well, the offensive lineman down the football field, but Missouri reacted defensively and pinched it off. They redirected Fobbs a little bit, couldn't quite hook up.
Oklahoma State will be forced to kick it away.
Oklahoma State, all that momentum they had, that they've been enjoying that 6-game run, I really think that bye week has interrupted it significantly. I mean, you can't simulate game conditions totally in practice. And Oklahoma State has lost the edge some.
Jason Davis set to kick it away. Good kick. Ricky Ross will just let it fly over his head. Oh, it's going to get a big-time bounce.
It's going to die.
Die at about the 11.5, make it the 12-yard line. A 66-yard kick for Jason Davis. His long this year was 74 yards. Now let's take a look at our Dr. Pepper Conference leaders. Tony Lindsay, as far as pass efficiency is concerned, he is number 1. Halupka right up there at number 4. We will see Michael Bishop next week against Texas Tech. And Texas Tech's got a pretty good quarterback in Zebby Lethbridge. Hopefully he'll be healthy and playing in next week's game as we make our first trip to Lubbock, Texas, see our good friend Spike Dykes.
Corby Jones, another example. Bishop, Lindsay, Zebby Lethbridge. They're all two-way go. I mean, they can beat you with their throwing arm, and they can beat you with their feet. I mean, college football now, you can't have a one-dimensional quarterback. Exactly. Everybody's got a guy that can hurt you more than one way.
Corby Jones was upset last week when he read that some of the people were saying if you make him throw, you'll win the football game. He got ticked. Went out and threw for 220 yards. Today, he remains mad. He's been throwing the ball well as the Levo on the carry. Final 45 seconds here in quarter number 2.
Boy, Missouri is about as determined a looking football team I've seen in a while. I mean,
it's the most intensity we've seen from them.
Oh, this game is important to them. And they've come out and grabbed this game by the throat right now. And 24-7, first half lead shows exactly, I think the score indicates how dominant they've been.
One thing the Oklahoma State defense hasn't done is force turnovers. They haven't done what they've done all year, as Jones will take a knee with 18 seconds left to play. There's a little bit of talking going on between the two, but I think both sides have to realize we still have 30 minutes of football on tap.
That's right. You know, I've seen many games where it's a Charles Dickens novel, A Tale of Two Halves. You know, the best of times, worst of times kind of deal, and you're going to have to continue to play a full football game. Don't just be satisfied with a half of playing. I don't think Larry Smith is going to let him lose that edge at the half.
It has been all Missouri in the first half. They lead at 24-7 over the undefeated and number 12-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Cowboys have made some very crucial mistakes, fumbling a kickoff and penalties. Let's head down to Jim Knox. Jim?
Coach, just about a picture-perfect first half. Your team's running the ball well, playing defense well, even specialty teams going A-OK. Are you surprised how well you guys are playing against the 12th-ranked team?
No, we're ready to play.
What's it been?
It's just run and hit football, block and tackle, that's all. No, we're ready to play. We got to keep playing. 30 more minutes.
The pooch play that they called back, 3rd and short. Kobe goes, looks like it touched the knee, then went the distance. Nice completion. Right. They called it back.
Right.
6 men were only on the line.
There was no flag. That's why I had a hard time understanding it. Okay.
You looked a little excited. Yeah, okay. Best of luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach. Ron?
Well, good. I'm not the only one that didn't see a flag then. But we have played 30 minutes here at a wet Lewis Field in Stillwater, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys trail by 17.
The one-time overthrew Lehman on a deep pass. I mean, really. The one-time overthrew Lehman on a deep pass. I mean, really, if Missouri had taken advantage of every opportunity, they could have 31, 35 points on the board right now, but they played a very good first half.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first 30 minutes of play. Oklahoma State strikes first.
Yeah, they get their speed guy involved. R.W. McQuarters, nice job out in the perimeter. The wall is set up, and then it's just pure speed. Tovey can't keep up with McQuarters, and Oklahoma State's on the board first with a big play.
Missouri comes back on the next possession.
A little bit of a problem here in brain cramp in the secondary of coverage. Brooks has a 20-yard touchdown reception because of confusion in the zone coverage in the secondary. Then Corby Jones, the blitz is picked up. He gets out on the perimeter and throws a touchdown pass, 33-yarder to Coleman, who's matched up on a safety. Now Haluka overthrows McQuarters, and the ball is picked off by Piercy. That's the second giveaway of the half, which was important. And right away, Jones goes deep. He goes for the juggler. Right away, 37-yard touchdown pass to Lehman. Missouri taking advantage of their opportunities, as we mentioned.
Well, the rain has stopped momentarily, but right now, Missouri reigns. 24-7, we're at halftime.
I'm looking.
Kansas, Florida State, and Virginia. Right now, Michigan has taken the lead over Michigan State. That is in the third. Washington, Oregon State, Northwestern Ohio State, Arizona, Washington State. All later on, and in the Big 12, Texas Tech has taken the lead over A&M. That's out in Lubbock. Baylor and Iowa State tied up at 7 in the first. K-State, OU, Colorado, Texas, all later on. Stay with us. Oklahoma State looking to go 7-0. Can they do it? We'll find out.
These days, it seems like everything is the official something of somebody. What's next? The official soft...
Down 24-7. What'd you tell the team at half?
Well, it's a different half. We're going to have to come out and play like we're capable of playing. We were not a sound football team that first half. Too many turnovers. We didn't play defense, and this second half has got to be different.
You think the week off hurt?
I'm not worried about the week off. I'm worried about the second half.
Best of luck. Thank you, Coach.
And he has 30 minutes to try to rectify the situation for Cowboy fans. Let's take a look at our Citgo halftime stats. And, Dave, I think what stands out, not only the rushing yards, but the balance as far as yardage is concerned.
Exactly. You have balance here, plus averaging 6 yards per carry in the running game. Coming in, Oklahoma State allowing only 2.2. And this is another big deal right here. Oklahoma State plus 10 in the turnover department coming in, minus 2 in the first half of this football game. Missouri took advantage of both giveaways. Their defense taking it away, putting their offense in a short field situation, and they capitalized. I mean, Missouri played an excellent first half. Let's see if that continues in the second half for both of these respective clubs.
Well, Corby Jones and the Missouri Tigers, their average start on possession has been at the Oklahoma State 48-yard line. OSU, on the other hand, has started on an average of their own 25-yard line. It's Jones, the leading rusher. Brock Olivo, he is on the kickoff team, and he told us that they were going to come out with some intensity. Let's see how he does on this kickoff team.
Yeah, he's on the kickoff team, the kickoff return team. He's on the punt team. I mean, last year, the last 6 games of the season, he was on all the special teams. He volunteered to do the same thing again this year. And then some other starters stepped up and started to follow his lead. Ron James, the big fullback, also on some special teams. So they've improved and upgraded special teams by contributors on the starting lineup.
Devin West and Ricky Ross set to receive the kick. It is Ross. Up over the 20, up to the 25-yard line, and that is where the Missouri Tigers will begin the second half. Chris Carter on the stop. Corby Jones has played the complete game. We saw against Iowa State how he was able to throw the ball effectively. Comes up against Kansas State, doesn't do it. Last week against UT, he does it. They were looking for consistency. They're getting it.
They sure are, Ron. 6 completions in 9 attempts, over 100 yards, 105 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 6 completions. 3 of them went to the house. I mean, that's big-time efficiency right there, and he averaged over 5 yards a carry running the football. He was huge.
James and Olivo in the I formation. Corby Jones checking at the line of scrimmage, and he has to call a timeout before they even snap the first time. The crowd is loud at Lewis Field, but Jones maintains his composure. They're breaking that string. 1st and 10, ball on the 25-yard line, 9 seconds into the second half. Straight ahead, nothing doing. Jack Golden, Jamal Williams on the stop. Jamal Williams making the first hit. Golden there, number 51, to clean things up.
Well, I'll tell you right away, Rob Ryan said we're going to get aggressive. He brought Trent Alexander off the slot on a blitz. If Missouri was going to run the ball outside, he had it defended with a slot blitz, but he decided to take it up inside, and the front 7 made the play. I think we're going to see a much different posture out of the Cowboys this half of the blitz look.
6 men on the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. Golden starting to sneak up. Jones, play action, looking for Lehman. Hit as he throws it. Pass complete. Penalty flag is thrown. Wow. Jay Murchison, a tremendous catch on a beautiful throw from Corby Jones.
And there was pass interference on Williams. I mean, he had a collision prior to the arrival of the football, and Murchison still makes the play. Excellent job of concentration on the football. Corby Jones showing great confidence in his wideout.
Well, Trent Alexander's the one that hit him. Pass interference against the Cowboys.
And Corby Jones gets blown up after he releases his football, rolls to his left and gets crushed. A couple of Cowboys. And Williams is right there before the arrival of the football, and he collides with Murchison before the ball gets there, and Murchison still makes the play. I mean, they've gotten yards in big chunks, has Missouri.
Kevin Williams, 5 interceptions, leads the Big 12, 4th in the NCAA, is the culprit. 1st and 10, ball is on the 43-yard line, just about a minute gone by here in the 3rd. Missouri has won 3 of the last 4 with Oklahoma State. The majority of the games the last few years have been close. James is the fullback, Olivo the tailback. James, Rhino, off the right side.
Well, the Oklahoma State lining up in a little bit more of their bear look here to start the second half, the 46th defense, and that's why Corby Jones called a timeout, because they lined up in that bear, that 46 look on 1st down. They made an adjustment at halftime. Corby Jones didn't have a play called for it, and he called a timeout. There's an injured Tiger on the turf right now. That's Brooks. That's down there, it looks like.
Looks like Eddie Brooks, it is. Eddie Brooks, the junior out of Blue Springs, Missouri, the wide receiver.
You don't like those 6-point stances.
No.
On hands and knees, and the toes hitting the turf. The worst is the 7-point stance, though, and the head's down on the ground, too.
You don't want that, right?
No.
Now, Missouri has won only 1 road game this year. They've been odd and even as far as wins and losses. Haven't put 2 wins together. Corby Jones, though, 70% completion rate today. 3 touchdowns, 136 yards.
Jeez, that's strong.
2nd and 4. Ball at the 37-yard line for the Tigers. They have played a whale of a football game so far. Olivo comes up to try to listen to the check. And he's got it. Blows over the left side. Good for a first down. Kenyatta Wright, the sophomore out of Vian, Oklahoma, on the stop. Boy, this is not the same Oklahoma State defense that we saw against Texas. Maybe the quote by the Missouri coaches was correct. They are blowing holes in the line.
Well, what's going on is Oklahoma State is not doing the crisscrossing up front with the interior folks. Jamal Williams is their big man up front. He gets double-teamed pretty effectively. That time gets knocked off the football, and they crease the Oklahoma State defense right there as Olivo hugs that double team on Williams.
1st and 10. Jones rolling out. Throws it out of the flat. Pass is complete to Brooks, and he is pushed out of bounds right at the first down marker, which is about the 23. Kevin Williams is there to help things out, along with Ricky Thompson from that free safety spot. I think what's impressed me the most about Corby Jones is accuracy today, and also, quite honestly, this is the first time I've seen him consistently throw tight spirals.
Yeah, he's thrown the ball exceptionally well, and Brooks back into the huddle. The tight end had the wind knocked out of him. That's a scary feeling when you can't get that first breath. But Brooks has recaptured his wind, and he's back in the huddle and on the line of scrimmage.
2nd down in just a couple of inches. Jones on the keeper. Breaks over the right side. He's got Pater. Touchdown.
Man, that was one thing that Oklahoma State wanted to have happen. Don't let Corby Jones hurt the defense. Make him pitch the football. Another defensive breakdown. 2 guys take the pitch man. Nobody takes the quarterback. In the first half, 2 took Corby Jones, and nobody took the pitch man. So there continues to be brain cramps in the Oklahoma State defensive unit. In the secondary and the option responsibilities, Oklahoma State for the first time this season is self-destructing defensively. Instead of destroying the opposition, they're destroying themselves with mistakes.
Nickman on for the extra point. This is a shocker.
Miss.
No good. Only his 2nd miss of the year for Scott Nickman. The #1 key for Missouri to win this football game, according to their coaches, Corby Jones must have a good game. He has done that and more. And Missouri leads in a big way over number 12 OSU. We'll be back after this word from Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler.
These days it seems...
Oklahoma State at the 17-yard line. Dante Hill. He goes absolutely nowhere. Let's take a look at Corby Jones, this time doing it with the legs.
Well, you got to watch right here. Golden. He gets out in no man's land. He's got the quarterback. He doesn't do anything. Trent Alexander, number 10, had the pitch man. Golden was between taking the quarterback and the pitch man. You can't be that indecisive. The game plan was to hit Corby Jones high. Golden was in position to do it and overran the play and got caught in no man's land. Hence, touchdown run, Corby Jones.
Now Oklahoma State has to make something happen as Tony Lindsey back in at quarterback. Straight drop, pass, nice catch. Nathan Simmons had to come back to haul that one in.
Well, now this is the first major piece of adversity this Oklahoma State football team has faced this season. And let's see if they can respond to it. Missouri continues to fly around the football. Kevin Ford showing good inside-out pursuit right there. And this football team is jacked up to play this game. And I don't think you're going to see any lack of intensity in the second half. No. Missouri smells some blood.
They've got Oklahoma State on the ropes, but there is still a lot of time left, and this is an explosive OSU team. Lindsey steps up, goes down. Loss of about 4 on the play. Marquise Gibson is the one who really put the pressure on. Lindsey tried to step up and just lost his feet.
Yes, he did. He went to the turf, and Lindsey, the story on Lindsey as far as the Missouri coaching staff on defense sees it is he makes one read, and that first read isn't there. He has a tendency to tuck the ball and run. I mean, as he gains more experience, Lindsey will go to his progression of receivers and be a little bit more patient. But right now, it's one look, tuck it, and go.
On 2nd and 14, and everybody's jumping off.
A little bit early there by Josh Henson.
I think David Camacho also got into it. Number 75, it was 62 and 75 on that left side of the Oklahoma State offensive line.
Yeah, I think once
Full start on the
Henson went, the other one saw it, said, I got to go too.
Still second down.
Well, Missouri hasn't had a winning season since 1983 when Warren Powers was coach. Oklahoma State's looking for their first since '88. They're assured of that. Missouri needs this to keep their hope alive of not only getting a winning season, but also a bowl game for Larry Smith.
Well, Missouri 6-3, their last 9 games, 10-9 in their last 19. They're slowly turning this thing around. I mean, Oklahoma State is a big story this year. Missouri's story continues in smaller chapters.
Lindsey's pass has a man wide open. The pass is complete to Sean Love. A foot race down to the 14-yard line to the 13.
Got inside of Posey. Posey lost that inside release, and the slant, the post pattern was run effectively. And the key to this is the protection. There's nobody impeding the vision of the quarterback Lindsey at all. And just a clean release to the inside by Sean Love. Posey lost that inside position, or he was looking for some inside help that never got there.
61 yards on the pickup, the longest of Tony Lindsey's career here at OSU. First and 10, ball's on the 13. Simmons dancing, crosses the 10, down to the 8. How big of a play was that, though, Dave? When you're down on the ropes like that, you usually look for something to happen on the defensive end. Some big hit, a fumble. I remember the old Steelers used to do that. You know, you have Jack Hammer Lambert cause something. Here, Oklahoma State does it with a big play on the offensive side.
Yeah, the offense is trying to answer. One thing they can't do, though, is exchange touchdowns.
Exactly.
I mean, at some point, Oklahoma State's defense has to rise up and stop Missouri. They haven't done that at all today.
Simmons, left side, crashes forward to the 3-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Cowboys. Inside of 10 minutes, Oklahoma State trailing 30-7. If you just joined us, Lewis Field, we've had sunshine, we've had rain, we've had wind, and we've had a lot of points hung on by Missouri.
Oh, this isn't anything fancy right here for Simmons. You got the left guard, left tackle. It's that old Connor Trey kick out, and the tackle pulls up inside. The guard kicks out, gets his trap, tackle pulls up inside, and Nathan Simmons hugs it tight, takes it to the goal line north and south, which is what all good backs do.
First and goal, ball, they're calling it the 3. Simmons, touchdown, Oklahoma State. His 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Officially a 2-yard touchdown run by Nathan Simmons.
Well, let's see if that's the spark that Oklahoma State was craving. Oklahoma State thinking about going for 2
I
here.
think they have to when you think about it, because they wanted 2 scores plus the 2-point conversions on each would only put them down by a touchdown.
Exactly. They got to score touchdowns, and if they get 2-point conversions after every touchdown, it's equivalent to almost another possession that's a field goal. Because they're getting 2 instead of behind, they're thinking they got to get back on schedule. So have to call a timeout. That's the second one, isn't it?
That's the first one for OSU.
Yeah.
Missouri's already burned one, but still, when you're down in that big of a hole, and you know that this game could quite possibly come down in the last 5-6 minutes, burning a timeout with 9:40 in the third is not something you want to do, but you also want to take advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's the case that they can convert the 2-point situation here. It puts them 15 points down. I mean, they're 2 touchdowns in a 2-point conversion, an extra point of time in the game. But we're speculating that the Oklahoma State defense shuts Missouri's offensive unit down totally, which has not really happened at all. I mean, there's no indication yet that that's going to take place, so we will see.
Let's take a look at some of the big play opportunities and the breakdowns as far as the Missouri defense is concerned.
Right. I mean, you look at Missouri, over 400 of their snaps, they've only been allowing 3.5 a play, which is outstanding. But 34 plays, they've given up over 33 yards per play. I mean, almost equal numbers of yards, 402 plays as opposed to 34. In other words, the big play has crushed the Missouri defense this season. And once again, today, the 3 big plays for Oklahoma State have accumulated 142 yards of offense.
OSU will go for 2. 2 wide receivers to the left. Lindsey, quarterback draw. He'll waltz in for the 2. was a good call by the OSU coaching staff. Tony Lindsay and company have pulled it in 15.
Yeah, I know about performance. You need the right technology. You need the right equipment. You need reliability. You need the right gasoline. And you need the right skills.
You need to trim the bushes.
Citgo says go.
You've done the math and figured out that you can consolidate bills and still afford to make some home improvements.
2 touchdowns on the ground and another in the air. We'll see Bishop and the number 14 Wildcats against the Texas Tech Red Raiders next Saturday morning at 11:30 Central on the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week. Nathan Simmons' touchdown run and the 2-point conversion pulled the Cowboys within 15 at 30-15. 9:40 left to play in the third. Schwetnick kicks it off, heading towards the goal line. 3 yards deep. Missouri will bring it out. And they are dropped at the 17. Penalty flag is being thrown from way back at the 50-yard line, Dave.
I think you're going to have an illegal block here that's going to put Missouri maybe back inside their own 10-yard line to start this drive. And that's one thing we talked about was the tremendous field position advantage Missouri had in the first half. It's an illegal block in the back. Missouri, by virtue of the takeaways in the short field, giving their offense such great field position, they had like a 20-yard possession advantage.
Block in the back on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Oh, the big play in the last Oklahoma State drive that led to Nathan Simmons' TD was this.
Oh, yeah, Posey gives up the inside release. He thinks he's going to get some help from Piercy, his safety, but help never arrives, and Love creases it for big yards, and then nothing fancy, just hammering up inside. Nathan Simmons pierces the goal line. And then the quarterback draw by Lindsay on the 2-point conversion. Good execution.
Back to live action. 9:30 to play in the third. Missouri with the lead and the football. Devin West trying the left side. Gets a couple. Tripped up right about the 10-yard line.
Well, if the Oklahoma State defensive unit is ever going to step up, now's the time to do it. I mean, what you'd like to see here as a defensive coordinator is 1, 2, 3 and out, or a takeaway. But a 1, 2, 3 and out would give the offense excellent field position to continue a comeback drive.
Right. And they'd be punting into a win. Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6. High formation. They give it to the fullback, Blackwell, barreling his way to the 20, and that is good for a first down. Oklahoma State didn't think that Missouri could run on it. Missouri coaches felt that they ought to be able to run inside. They have done that.
They've run inside. They've run outside. I mean, Corby's hurt him with the option. Larry Smith's happy because his offensive line, like we said in the first half, Ron, he came out and said, my offensive line can knock anybody around. And they're going to gash this Oklahoma State defense a little bit. That's a paraphrase, folks. But basically, he's showing a lot of confidence in his offensive line, and they've really stepped up for him. They stepped up to the plate large.
This time, Oklahoma State is there to meet Devin West. Alton Weaver, Courtney Mallory, everybody's there. You know, 3 years ago, Larry Smith said his offensive line could not move a dime. They've moved quarters today. Let's take a look at the win streak for Oklahoma State. They are currently tied with Nebraska and Toledo dating back to last year. 7 wins in a row.
That goes to show you, though, how tough it is to put together a long streak in today's college football with the 85 scholarship rule.
Yeah.
It's so balanced. There's not the dynasties anymore where teams win 40, 45 games in a row. That's almost impossible.
Lost to the yard, 2nd and 11 inside of 8 minutes in the third. Jones on the option. Oh, my, did he take a hit from Jamal Williams?
Corby trying to figure out now, he's in Stillwater or Norman or back in Columbia. Boy, that was a lick. But this kid is one tough hombre. Corby Jones takes the hit like the old Timex commercial. He takes the lick and he keeps on kicking. And this kid just shakes these hits off like a heavyweight boxer would. Turns it up inside, and Jamal will set out pursuit. Man, you got to check your dentures right there and make sure that all the teeth are still in there tightly.
This is the biggest play of the game so far with still a lot of time left. 3rd and 10, ball's down to 20. Jones being rushed. He's hit again as he releases it. Pass incomplete.
And that was the big fella. Put the hit on him, I believe.
Jamal Williams.
Big Jamal. What a defensive sequence for Jamal Williams. You know, when a good football team's struggling, you look to your playmakers. Offensively, they started looking to Alonzo Mays. And then things started opening up in their passing game because of the double teams on Mays. Defensively, Jamal Williams is the one that comes up with the big hits. He's their best defensive player.
Third punt of the afternoon for Steve-O. Punting into the wind.
One of those barefooted punters.
Not a good one. And Oklahoma State will have excellent field position. That ball ended up in the stands.
Wow. That's my 9-iron. That's Shank City.
It was a 20-yard kick. Oklahoma State will have it first and 10 from Missouri's 20.
And that's the knock on Steve-O. He'll hit one 55 yards for you because he's got tremendous leg strength. Then the next punt, he doesn't get a consistent drop, doesn't handle the ball all that consistently, and he gets a 20-yard punt. So, Steve-O, this guy's an ex-offensive lineman, and usually ex-offensive linemen aren't very good punters. But in the stands on the fly, the drop didn't look that great for him.
They are 108th net punting in the NCAA. Oklahoma State blasting away up to the 35. A pickup of 5 by Jamal Fobbs.
You know, I mentioned at the end of the first half that you've seen football games become the Charles Dickens novel, you know, A Tale of Two Halves, the best of times, worst of times. Oklahoma State came out and struggled. Missouri takes the ball right down the field and scores on them, puts 30 on the board. But now, ever since that drive, Oklahoma State's offense answers with a touchdown. Now the defense responds, special teams responds, pinning Missouri back, and now Oklahoma State finds themselves back in the hunt.
Second and 5, closing in on 6 minutes left in the third. Lindsey gets some pressure. Pass in and out of the hands.
Wow.
Willie Grissom hit him right in the hands. He was wide open, and he probably could have gotten down to the 15 because he had some running room.
Well, this is one that you want to have back. 99 times out of 100, this ball is complete. Willie Grissom is the widest receiver. He runs this little crossing route. He takes it to the inside. Easter chucks him really illegally down the football field, but it shouldn't have impeded his vision. Grissom was clear of that contact long before the ball's arrival, and he just dropped it.
Third and 5. Lindsey puts his head down, will barely get back to the line of scrimmage at the 35. Donnell Jones on the stop.
And there's their big play, guys. Donnell Jones is a load. I'll tell you, Donnell Jones holds the nose in that defense very, very well. Will Oklahoma State call a timeout here again, or will they make a quick decision to go for it and have the right play called in? And they're going for it.
I think they have to.
They got to, but hopefully they don't have to burn out time at the timeout here because the play clock's ticking.
They've got 10 to snap it. Bob Simmons has made his decision in Les Miles. 5 to snap it. 3, 2, 1. They get it off on 4th and 5. Lindsey's pass incomplete.
But it was a hurry to get it off. And that play was disjointed because it took too long to make the decision what play to get in. Pretty good coverage there. Carlos Posey. We're trying to go to Fobbs on that play.
Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity, though, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. Because of not... You always have to be a player or two ahead. And you have to have that... If you don't make it, what are you going to do on 4th down? It took a little too long to make it a play selection on 4th down. And the ball's thrown behind Fobbs because everything's hurried. The timing is disjointed. The relationship between quarterback and receiver wasn't timed right.
Inside of 5:30. The Oklahoma defense got the ball back for their offense at Missouri's 40. The offense could not take advantage of it. Jones. Pass incomplete to Sean Lund. Take that back to Ricky Ross. Ricky Ross was in the doghouse for Missouri as far as wide receivers. Got a chance to play and has taken advantage of it.
Yeah, he's had 5 catches coming in the last couple weeks coming into this game, and 3 of them last week against Texas were on big 3rd down plays. He's got plenty of speed. He's a big play potential. Big play guy waiting to happen. And let's see if Missouri can now rise to another level offensively after the defense has a 4-down stop.
2nd and 4. Brooks in motion. Jones rolling out. Got some time. Pass is tipped. Incomplete. Kenyatta Wright is the one who got his hand on it. Number 7.
And once Kenyatta Wright got his hand on it, Torrey Coleman was open game. You could hit him. Once the ball's touched, there's no interference further down the field. And Coleman never even disputed the fact that he was hit from behind before the ball got to him. The reason the ball never got to him was Kenyatta Wright knocking the ball in mid-flight. Kenyatta Wright, nice timing of the jump, gets the right hand up and reroutes the football.
His 3rd pass knocked down this year. 3rd and 4 for the Tigers. Jones forced to pitch it. Olivo. They string him out to the 40. He loses a yard, and it'll be 4th down and 5. Jack Golden is the one who did a great job from that linebacker spot of stringing that play out.
He did. He showed good speed. The one thing Brock Olivo does not have is tremendous speed on the edge. And Golden, number 51 in the orange, you see him pursuing, scraping from inside linebacker, and he runs Olivo down. Nice inside-out pursuit, and he's helped in the play by Trent Alexander, but Golden was the primary disruptor on that one.
Steve-O's last kick was 20, and went into the stands on a fly.
Yeah, he kicks one 52 today, and then he kicks another one 20. That's, you don't know what you're going to get out of the guy.
Reporter standing at his 28. This one not much better. Takes a lateral bounce, then it takes an Oklahoma State bounce. They will mark it at about the 36-yard line. Oklahoma State will have it. Let's check in with Jim Mack.
Ron, we've had just about everything today. Rain, wind, now sunshine is back out. In fact, it is really beginning to heat up on the field. If you can see the steam coming off from the field. It is really getting warm, believe it or not, down here. So the worst job I guess you can have in this area as a weather forecaster, because it can change any minute.
You know, I worked TV news here about 20 years ago, and I wanted a job where I could be wrong 75% of the time, you know? That's a great job to have, isn't it?
Well, there must be a big crowd in that field, because Jim looks awfully short down there.
Oh, he's only 5'2". Oklahoma State will keep it on the ground on 1st and 10. Ball was on the 27, closing in on 3 minutes, and now the clock becoming a factor for OSU.
Exactly. Now Oklahoma State has to answer with another big play. You know, they had a big play in their touchdown drive, a completion of over 60 yards on a little post route. See if Oklahoma State can make a big play here, or they're just going to chew it up a little bit at a time again on the scoreboard.
Where's Alonzo Mays been? Have not gone to him in a while. Not much running room, 0. Nathan Simmons couldn't even find a seam.
Really, Ron, the reason that those slant passes and the post routes have been so open is because of Alonzo. Alonzo consumes a couple of guys, and when that happens, somebody else has to step up. Like in basketball, if you're going to double team, Magic, Kareem has to step up, or the other way around. And when they pay up a lot of attention to Alonzo, you can't force it. Somebody else has to make a play.
2 tight ends. Mays is on the top right. 3rd down and 3. 2:38 to play in the 3rd. Simmons tries to get to the outside, crosses the 35. Penalty flag is going to be thrown. It'll be a face mask.
Yep. It's going to be 5 or 15. It didn't look that violent, maybe 5, but
the 1st down no matter what.
Yep. I think he might have had a 1st down even on the carry.
It was very close.
Nice job by Henson pulling from that left guard position and getting out in front of the play. Oh, it's going to be 15. Oh, personal foul. It's the big variety. Josh Henson comes out of that left guard position, and he pulls out in front, and he gets the block that puts Simmons to the edge. Yeah, and Easter really gets a good grab on it, takes him to the ground by virtue of grabbing that face mask and pulling it. So that's a flagrant one. That's going to cost him big.
Larry Smith's team played about as perfect the first half as you could play.
Yep.
Came out in the second half, scored right away. That's where we are right now, 30-15, closing in on 2 minutes left to play in the 3rd. OSU trailing. Nice play action. Lindsey has some space. Pass is complete to Mays at the 35, down to the 34-yard line.
What they did, Oklahoma State, they faked a little counter tray up front with the offensive lineman, got the linebackers flowing and running one direction. Watch the right guard and right tackle pull. The linebackers flow with them, and then Lindsey rolls out against it, and they lose track of Mays because the linebackers are flowing the wrong way, and he hits them with the pass before Piercy can get there. Nice execution.
It was a great catch, but a wonderful throw by Lindsey, throwing across his body, rolling right, throwing back left. Lindsey, nobody in the backfield. Lost it deep. Oh, complete. Touchdown, Cowboys. Wow. Sean Love on the reception for the touchdown. And folks, we got ourselves a football game.
Yeah, hold on tight now. This bad boy is going down to the last minute of this game. Oklahoma State showing championship quality in terms of resiliency. They're going to go for one here.
Very interesting. It'll put them within 8 if it is good. Tim Sidness, perfect this year. The crowd is quiet. The snap was a little off. They got it down, and the kick is good. 1 minute, 47 seconds left in the third. The Oklahoma State Cowboys scratching and clawing back. Missouri fending them off, but the Tigers of Missouri still lead 30-22.
Well, this is a perfect play because the pass protection is extraordinary. Nobody is impeding the vision of Lindsey. He hangs the ball up there with a nice high release, and Love just absolutely runs past Posey. It's just a question of speed. Posey's got him in the slot all the way, and Love runs right by him. Touchdown, vertical, stretching that field vertically. Lindsey with a very nice high release, soft touch, and Love showing the foot speed to just beat the coverage deep.
Well, Love's second reception today had a 61-yarder. That was good for 34. That's his first touchdown of the year. More importantly, it's pulled the Cowboys with an 8 and has gotten this crowd that has sat through the rain and the wind alive again.
I'll tell you, Les Miles, the offensive coordinator, is going to love that play. You get perfect protection, a perfect throw, an excellent route, securing the football, and you get a touchdown. I mean, that's big play execution right there. And I was wondering if Oklahoma State was going to do it in little chunks or get the big play. And once again, they get the big play, and they're hurting Missouri running the post routes down the hash mark. They're hurting them in the middle of the football field. They're not really hurting them as much on the sidelines of the deep quadrant of the field. They're hurting them right down the chute.
Devin West is going to watch this go out of the end zone. And Missouri will begin 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Let's take a look at that touchdown again. Nice pass from Tony Lindsey to that man.
That's right, that man, Mr. Love, and he loves this play. Watch the protection initially. I mean, nobody gets any kind of penetration. The pocket's totally secure, and Love outruns Posey, and the ball's laid up there perfectly, and that's, boy, that's pretty when it's executed like that.
Oklahoma State's defense has played better here in the second half. First and 10 from the 20, it is Loud. Jones forced the pitch to Olivo. He able to split the defense, get another first down as he crosses the 30.
Oh, they're going to call an illegal block on Eddie Brooks. Eddie Brooks blocked Golden out in the perimeter. I think they're going to call a block in the back. So this one may come back.
I think you're right. Good call, Dave. Let's listen in on the call. That is exactly what it is. Well, Missouri's average starting position was in Oklahoma State territory in the first half, back at the 36 in the second.
Well, as Golden pursues from the outside, Freezer right here, that's the illegal block. Brooks is pushing Golden in the back, and that sprung the play, and that's the illegal block that's taking him back.
That'll still be first down, but the ball is going to be spotted back at the 10.
Well, one thing you have to make sure of is when you're making a block that you can get your head in front of the opposition body. And that time Brooks made a poor decision because no way could he get his head in front of the opponent's body.
Now Olivo has to come up and try to get the call again from Jones. Not much moving around as far as Oklahoma State. They keep it on the ground to the big fullback Ron James from Clarence, Missouri. 276 pounds, moving east-west, or west-east, I guess it would be here.
And he can squat well over 800 pounds. I mean, that's what that means is he puts a barbell across those big, broad shoulders with 800 pounds on either end of it, 400 pounds on each side of it, and he squats down like he's sitting in a chair with no chair there, and then stands back up. That's some unbelievable leg strength right there.
Final 50 seconds. James 16 yards on 4 carries this afternoon. OSU moving around again defensively. Jones throws it out in the flat, intended for Olivo. Pass is incomplete. Will bring up the third down at about 13.
I'll tell you, the ball was thrown incomplete because of the pressure by Zachary Aiken as a defensive tackle. They ran a nice little tackle twist up front on the pass rush, Oklahoma State did, and Aiken got himself. Watch Aiken when he crisscrosses up front. Penetrator, Aiken loops, Aiken gets in the pass lane, gets his hands up, and as a result, Corby Jones throws it high and incomplete. Decent little pressure up front.
Andrell Waddle came off limping for Oklahoma State. He's replaced in the lineup. Lehman goes wide to the left. 3rd and 13 for the Tigers from the shotgun. High snap. Jones has time over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Almost intercepted. Ooh. That was the second time in this half that OSU has come up with a tip and almost picked it off.
Williams on Lehman. And Williams knocked the ball airborne, but there was nobody there to secure the old tip throw. But once again, Oklahoma State's offense will have excellent field position by virtue of a defensive stand. Take a look at Lehman and Williams. Actually, the ball's just thrown a little bit high. Williams collides with him right after he touches the football. No infraction there.
32 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. R.W. in the quarter standing at his own 45. OSU peels back another ugly kick. The Porters is going to let this thing bounce because they will get good field position. Ball is down to the 39-yard line. It was a 44-yard kick. It wasn't pretty, but it wasn't bad as far as yardage.
Boy, Sebo's so concerned about not getting his punt blocked that he's hurrying his mechanics. And right now, he's giving himself a different drop every single time he goes to punt the football. You have to be consistent with your drop. That's the ball out of your hand, dropping down to your foot to punt it.
Now the wind has just completely died here in Stillwater. The sun is out. Still a lot of clouds left.
Boy,
this is weird.
We've gone through 2 or 3 seasons. We've got 1 to go. I hope that 4th season doesn't come in until we leave.
And you mean leave, mean Will Rogers Airport, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm talking about getting on that big bird.
Mays goes in motion. Watch the pass. Here it comes. Throwback pass to Lindsey. He's wide open. Look out! Down to the 10-yard line.
Boy, the coverage never bare with Oklahoma State. They're just perfect timing on being unpredictable. Joe Fears, backup quarterback, the 3rd quarterback, goes into the football game, and Joe Fears fakes a sweep right and a throwback pass to Lindsey. What a call, and it's done at just the perfect time. They sneak Joe Fears onto the field. He's at tailback, number 11. That's the 13 quarterback. Rolls to his right, plants, throwback pass. Nobody covers Lindsey, and it's off to the races. What a call, what execution. Amazing.
He looked like he slipped as he threw it. Fears is 3 for 3 throwing the football this year. His longest pass was 7 yards. But as we end the 3rd quarter, the Cowboys are knocking on the door. The halfback pass to Tony Lindsey, and that has set up Oklahoma State at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 as we begin the 4th and final quarter. You can see 15 points for Oklahoma State in the 3rd. Along with Dave Lapham and Jim Knox, I'm Ron Thulin. Lindsey on the option, trying to follow behind his pigs and blind, not able to do it. Let's take a look at that pass again. Fears almost slipped and fell when he went to throw that.
Yeah, Fears is right here. He's going to roll to his right. Lindsey's going to hide and run a route down the left sideline. He pitches it, and then Lindsey goes and hides on that sideline. Fears plants his right foot, throws back to the left as that right foot's being planted. He almost goes down, but Lindsey is wide open. They don't account for him at all out of the backfield. Quarterback to quarterback, and big play. And I credit the Oklahoma State coaching staff for knowing exactly the time to call it.
Ball is on the 8, 2nd down. Mays split wide to the right. Looking for Mays. Got the end zone. He slips out of bounds. Touchdown, they call it.
Well, the one referee, the baseline referee, has not signaled yet. Now they're
because the defender pushed him out.
Right, what the call is, one official signal immediately. The official on the back line of the end zone did not signal immediately, but when the receiver is airborne, if the defender does not touch him, and he will come down inbounds with 1 foot by your interpretation as an official, it's good. And now they're going for 2 to tie. Swinging gate.
Look out. This is interesting. 4 guys are going to have a penalty flag. We had a bunch of people in motion at the same time. But I don't think anybody was set before they went in motion.
Well, actually, it's not swinging gate because they didn't line up to kick. I mean, they just lined up. They were running a funky formation, though. Hey, I'll tell you what, any trick play that's in the game plan is coming out this afternoon as Oklahoma State tries to get back into this game. Did Missouri have 12 guys in the field?
I think they did.
Let's see what the call is.
It's against Missouri.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense.
They jumped
to the goal.
They jumped in the neutral zone, and right now the wheels are falling off Larry Smith's wagon right now in his Missouri Tigers. They're going to have to regain their composure. Bob Simmons and his team is on a full court press, and they're not letting them breathe out there. They're just keeping the foot on the throat and not letting Missouri breathe at all.
Missouri looking a little confused defensively again.
Look at this formation. Three of the offensive linemen go out to the left.
Watch Lindsey. Keep an eye on him. 1 man in motion. Lindsey. Looking, throwing.
Oh, got it!
That man set things up. And Oklahoma State took advantage of the 2-point conversion with 14-13 left to play. We are tied at 30. Ricky Ross. Running room. Look out. Uh-oh. Wow. He's still tight-roping down, finally pushed out of bounds by Kevin Williams.
That's what happens when you have a low line drive kick. You don't get a chance to get down and cover it. That kickoff was miskicked, and he had a tremendous opportunity to return. Too much separation between the cover people and Ricky Ross because of that low line drive one-hopper. The touchdown pass to Mays. I want to correct myself. I was thinking NFL. You have to get 1 foot down in bounds no matter what in college. Watch Mays' right foot. Boom. Bad boy comes down inbounds. Perfect play. Great execution. Watch the big fella go airborne, vertical. Watch the right foot. Boom. Tap, touchdown. Right there, touchdown. Great play by Mays.
And after the 49-yard return, Missouri first and 10 from the Oklahoma State 47-yard line. 1 minute gone by here in the fourth. Joe drop. He's looking for some. Picked off. Intercepted by Ricky Thompson, and he's down at the 30. His first interception of the year.
Corby Jones not happy as he works his way to the sideline there. Underthrew that football. Made a bad decision to throw it at all. But now Larry Smith trying to regroup the troops. And look at the body language over there. There's frustration and disappointment. Whereas on the Oklahoma State sideline, pure euphoria. Plenty of good protection. The ball just kind of waffles a little bit on Corby Jones. Underthrows it. Throws it into double coverage. Ricky Thompson picks it clean. There's no reason to throw that ball into double coverage like that.
Well, the Oklahoma State Cowboys take over from their own 30, first and 10. Lindsey. Pass is complete to Simmons. Dancing his way. Pickup of about 3, maybe 3.5. Bob Simmons knew he had 30 minutes of football left to be played, and the biggest comeback under Bob Simmons. They trailed Iowa State back in '96 last year, 24-7, and they won it 28-7.
Well, Bob Simmons told our Jim Knox at halftime, I'm not worried about anything else but the second half of this football game, and boy, did he refocus his troops.
They call it a gain of 4 on 2nd and 6. Oh.
Nice job on the backside. You know, even when you're not at the point of attack, of the initial point of attack of the running play, this time the right guard and right tackle, Adam Davis and met their defensive players by the play, giving Simmons cutback lane.
and 10 on the 44 for Oklahoma State. Simmons again. Up to midfield. In case you just joined us, it was all Missouri in the first half. They led 24-7 at intermission. They dominated offensively and defensively. They scored early in the third to go up 30-7. But then Oklahoma State, with a couple of big plays, has come rebounding back, a couple of two-point conversions. And that is where we are right now, tied at 30. Larry Smith's team, all not enough, but 12:25 to play in the ballgame. Lindsey still in at quarterback. One lone setback.
Early movement up front. That's going to cost Oklahoma State 5.
That'll make it a 2nd and 9 for OSU.
And you know, Ron, the thing about Oklahoma State,
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remain 2nd down.
everybody's got the unusual or, quote, trick play in the game plan. And Oklahoma State has run it all. They get the third quarterback in. He throws a throwback pass to Lindsey to set up a touchdown. Look at this formation. There's 3 offensive linemen to the left. Lindsey rolls to his right. Watch Grissom sit down in the zone. Sits down right in the middle of the end zone. He finds a little opening and squats right there. And just an excellent execution by the receiver, and Lindsey finds him.
This penalty for OSU. Lindsey, look, pass right into the hands and off Willie Grissom again. He's hit him in the shoulder pad, it looked like. Right. That is the second drop he has had today.
This sounds dumb, but it's true. When you're a wide receiver, you got to catch the ball with your hands. Get your hands out in front of your body. Extend your arms, get your hands out in front. Anytime the football comes into your equipment, your shoulder pads or your helmet, you're in trouble. And that time, Grissom let the ball come into his out there and catch the ball. Go get the football. Don't wait for it.
Third down. They're calling it 10. Ball on the 45 for Oklahoma State. Missouri showing blitz. Julian Jones comes up. Here he comes. He's picked up. Lindsey pass to Mays.
Complete over the middle, 85.
Alonzo Mays, another big-time reception. Wade Perkins was beaten. Mays makes his way down to the 17. Well, he is slow to get up.
Yeah, he's slow to get up. But boy, what a play by the big fella. And defensively, there's a lot of pressure on you to find Alonzo. This time, he's in the slot in a two-point stance like a receiver. And he releases, and what a great release off the line of scrimmage. He just swats Easter away like he's a mosquito, and then he's down the middle of the football field and off to the races. What an excellent release and catch of the foot. That's a wide receiver and a tight end's body right there, folks.
Pick up a 37. Ball is on the 18. Bob's in motion. Lindsey's going to keep it. To the 15, to the 14, maybe the 13.
Lindsey on the keeper.
Trimmed up by Barry Odom, the junior out of Ada, Oklahoma, at the linebacker spot.
Well, I'll tell you, maybe, I don't know, that Charles Dickens deal before the half is coming through here.
I'm telling you, look pretty good on that, didn't
you? You have to play a complete football game, and it was all Missouri in the first half. It's been all Oklahoma State in the second half. The best of times, worst of times, and reverse it. Worst of times, best of times for Oklahoma State. You have to play the complete game.
2nd and 5. Bob. Stiff arm, stood up right at the 15. Terrence Binion, the senior out of St. Louis, Missouri, on the stop.
One thing that Oklahoma State does not want to have to do here, though, is settle for a field goal. When you get in this old red zone, like we talked about many times, inside the 20-yard line, actually Oklahoma State, they refer to the 25-yard line and then as the attack zone. And they want a high ratio, 85% touchdown conversion ratio once they get inside the 25. Here they find themselves on the 15-yard line with a 3rd and 7. Huge third down play. You have to pay a lot of attention to the big fella, Alonzo, now.
Five to snap it. Simmons back in, Fobbs out. One to snap it, just gets it off. Look out. Halfback option, has a man, picks off in the end zone, and he goes out of bounds. Harold Piercy at the 2. Oh, if he would have downed it, they would have got it at the 20. Now they're marking it at the 1. Piercy's 2nd interception.
Well, that's the first trick play that Oklahoma State has called that backfired. And Piercy is right there to make the play on it. And Coach Simmons, Bob Simmons, talks to the son, Simmons, about, hey, just throw it away. If it's not there, don't force it. Throw it away or run out of bounds. You don't want to run out of bounds, but throw it away. He underthrows coverage. There was no way the ball was going to be completed. And Piercy, if he does have presence of mind, he's just down in the end zone. It's first and 10 at the 20, but he slipped from the sideline out of bounds at the 2.
Well, they're actually going to put it at the 1 now. The 1, yep. High formation for Missouri. Inside of 10 minutes to play, tied at 30. They give it to the fullback. A little bit of breathing room. Maybe a pickup of 3 by Ron James.
And one thing here, Ron, is Missouri has to worry about not having the entire game plan wide open for them. I mean, they're backed up. They can't afford a turnover. They're going to have to try to get a first down, give their punter an opportunity to have some room to kick it out of there, and the punter has struggled. I mean, he's been kicking some knuckleballs here lately. So they want to try to establish a first down and continue to move the ball.
Straight ahead. Blackwell a couple of yards. Let's check in with Jim Knox on the condition of Alonzo Mays. Jim?
Right now they're working on Alonzo's shoulder. As of now, it's about a 50-50 chance that he will return. Right now they are just trying to find out what's wrong with the shoulder. We'll see what happens.
He got hurt, Ron, when he gets tackled. 2 guys, one high load him, and he landed at one point landing on that shoulder after that reception he made on the release from the slot. And I'll tell you, this game is real important. I would imagine if the big fella can come back at all, he will. Usually what happens when you land on that shoulder or on your elbow, it jams it up into and you separate that shoulder, that collarbone a little bit. You have a separation where the collarbone attaches at the AC joint.
3rd down and 3 for Missouri. Plenty of time to snap the football. Weston Blackwell, Jones, pitches. Oh, West slips and falls down at the 5-yard line. And Trent Alexander was right there.
Excuse me, Ron, and Corby Jones took another hit from Waddle. Corby Jones got hit, and West, the pitch man, was controlled by the defense. Great defensive execution against the option on this one, Ron. Both guys played the quarterback and the pitch man exceptionally well. Watch the hit that Jones takes after he delivers the ball. He's popped right in the chops, and then West tries to turn it up inside as Trent Alexander contains the outside, and he goes to the third.
Vince Sebo standing just inside the end line. McQuarters at the Missouri 46. McQuarters is just going to let it bounce. The line drive kick will be stopped dead at the 49-yard line of OSU. 46-yard kick. OSU has the football with 8:01. Our Southwest Airlines game summary. OSU 23 unanswered points since they were down by 23. In the second half, you can see the Cowboys 265 yards. Lindsey, who was contained in the first half, has come alive here in the second. Totally opposite story for Missouri. Alonzo Mays wants to come back in. We'll update his condition in a moment. But right now, OSU first and 10 on their own 49. Knocking on the door on their last possession, only to have Nathan Simmons' pass intercepted. Fumble. Lindsey just has to cover it up. Jim Knox, update us on Alonzo Mays.
Ron, new news on Alonzo Mays. He has a 3rd-degree separation. In fact, a bone is sticking up on his left shoulder. He wants to come back in, but the coaches say no way. We'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, Ron, I had a 3rd-degree separation. I know what he's talking about with the bone sticking up on that left shoulder. It feels like your collarbones and your earlobe. And it's not a very pleasant deal. And I don't see the big fella being able to come in and get his hands up and catch a football. You can't lift your arm above your waist, never mind your shoulder.
2nd and 10. Lindsey will keep it on the ground. Simmons dances, crosses the 45 down to the 42-yard line, and he will be close to a first down.
Now, with Mays out of the game, it's up to the offensive line to take control of things up front and hammer away in there and eat the clock up and take it little chunks at a time and play keep away and score and limit Missouri's opportunity to come back. So you want to do 2 things. Take time off the clock and put the ball in the end zone. That's the goal in this drive.
Number 88, Sean Berry in at tight end. Jarrett Steggs also in. 3rd down, less than a yard. Lindsey to Simmons. Simmons first down, crossing the 40 down to the 37-yard line. 6:37 to go in the ball game. Pick up a 5 on the play.
What Oklahoma State, I think, is going to do more and more of this. I mean, they're going to line up. This is 3rd and short, granted, but you go 1, 2 tight ends. You have 2 backs. I mean, you got a bunch of people crowded between the hash marks. The hogs between the hash marks are going to decide this game right now. Oklahoma State's going to try to muff the Missouri a little bit.
On 1st and 10. Ball. That should be down. Simmons was tripped up as he crossed the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Pickup of maybe 3 on the play.
And that's the thing, you know, we talked about it at halftime a little bit, how defensive players will cause fumbles. They'll punch it, they'll tomahawk chop it, they'll gang tackle and strip it. And the deal right now, that's exactly what the defense is trying to do. It's the running back's responsibility to cozy up with 2 arms around that bad boy.
On 2nd and 7. Bob up the middle, up to the 25. That should be good enough for another OSU first down. OSU just grinding it out, and this is what their initial game plan was, just to chip away at Missouri.
And all they're doing this time is running the counter tray again from the other direction. They've been running it one way. This time, they pull the right guard and right tackle, and they kick out with the guard and turn the tackle up inside for positive yards.
Well, Bob Simmons talked about how he has tried to humble his team the last couple of weeks. I think that first half was the most humbling experience they've had this year. Lindsey keeps it. Dives forward to the 21-yard line. Pick up a 4 before Steve Erickson. Sophomore defensive tackle number 94 out of Dallas, Texas. Kevin Ford also in on the stop.
And Kevin Ford was being played a little bit by Lindsey like a yo-yo. I mean, Kevin Ford, he didn't know whether to take the quarterback or get involved with the pitch guy. And Lindsey was faking the pitch and making Ford declare. He did a nice job of putting the outside linebacker between a rock and a hard place on that decision.
Oklahoma State getting within field goal range. Sidness has missed a couple of 50-plus yarders today, but it was wet then. He hit 4 versus Colorado 2 weeks ago. Bob just carrying people with a little help from his lineman, Jeremy Offit. I'm not sure who had the ball there, if it was Hobbs or Offit. They both were carrying the ball, weren't they?
Yeah, Offit was trying to finish his block. You know, all coaches like you to sustain your block and finish it. Well, he finished the block on the defender as well as the ball carrier being involved. He finished everything. Offit just pushed the ball about 5 yards forward.
6'5", 295-pound junior out of Paris, Texas. 4:23 to play. Tied at 30. Wide to the left is Willie Grissom. High formation. Brown is the fullback. Lindsey looking to keep it. He is going to be wrapped up at the 15. Brian Craycraft doing a nice job from that defensive tackle spot.
Now, if it's 4th down and a skosh, what do? Do you kick the field goal, or do you go for it and keep the drive alive? That's going to be a big decision. Do you put points on the board, or do you try to get the first down, eat more clock, and then score? That's the big decision right now for Coach Simmons.
Well, last week we went on the limb and said that Dave Roberts should go for 2 against OU in the Baylor game. He didn't make it.
He's going.
I'm saying he should go for it, and he's doing it.
Yep, he's going. What the heck?
Sean Berry's come in, another tight end, the redshirt freshman out of Detroit, Michigan, number 88.
And right now, you have to have some confidence in your defense to stop Missouri if you don't make the first down.
He has 5 to snap it. 3 to snap it. First down, Oklahoma State. Bob down to the 10-yard line.
That's a big play right there. Coach Simmons rolling the dice and coming up a big winner. And I'm not sure he really rolled the dice in his mind. He's got a lot of confidence in his offensive line. He put the 2 tight ends in, 2 running backs, muscled them up between the hash marks and said, my big people are going to beat your big people, and we're going to eat this clock up, play keep away, score, and try to win this game.
You see the time left. 189 seconds left to play. Tied at 30. OSU, 1st and 10, ball is on the 10. They might be able to get a first down. It looks like the first down marker's on about the 1-foot line. Brown, the only one in the backfield. Lindsey keeps it, flips, falls. Loss of about a half a yard.
You know, no matter what points you end up scoring here, Ron, whether it be field goal or touchdown, as I said at the beginning of this drive, you have 2 goals. To put points on the board to take a lead, and to take as much time off the clock in so doing as you possibly can. I mean, the ideal thing is that if you're going to kick a field goal, kick it with less than a half minute to play in the game. Or if you do punch it in for a touchdown, do the same and give them no time or little time to retaliate.
2nd and 11. Staggs switches sides from the tight end spot. They give it to the big fullback, Kevin Brown, getting over to the middle of the field. Waiting for Tim Sidness, number 14, the field goal kicker with 2 minutes to play. But Oklahoma State is facing a 3rd down, and it should be probably maybe 8 yards.
And the other thing you have to consider here now, 3rd and 8, you have to consider the field position for your kicker. You'd like to have him lined up in the middle of the field. Right now it's on the right hash mark, and it's an extreme angle to convert a field goal. You know, if you're a right-footed kicker, normally you like to be on the left hash or in midfield. Now he's at the right hash and has to kick back across his body, so I think they may try to run a play that'll get him back in the middle of the field.
Well, this has been a pretty good drive for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. It started on their own 49-yard line after the punt. They've already had 10 plays. They've covered 43 of the yards. Just over 6 minutes they have eaten up on the clock. This is a very important game as far as the South standings are concerned, with Texas A&M playing Texas Tech this afternoon. They are already 1 game down to Oklahoma State. The Cowboys looking to go 4-0 in conference play, 7-0 overall, which will assure them an even better bowl game. And the North standings, Missouri at 4-3. They want to be able to go 5-3 on the year.
I tell you, during that break, Ron, Alonzo Mays was with the coaches and his teammates saying, I'm going back in this game. This is a huge 3rd down play. If we're going to throw the football, I want it to be me. I saw an assistant coach raise his arms above his head and said, look, can you get your hands up and catch the ball? And you know, with the 3rd-degree separation, I know the adrenaline's flowing right now. He's going to be very, very uncomfortable tonight and tomorrow. And unfortunately, he may miss more than just the rest of this football game with a 3rd-degree separation. That's a tough one.
Just a moment ago, Alonzo Mays talking to the coaching staff, trying to convince them that he can play. 3rd down and 9.
And he's going out widest in the formation. Alonzo's at the bottom of the screen, out wide.
Brown and Simmons in the backfield. They're looking for Mays.
Oh, wow! Cowboys! Boy, that's storybook.
Unbelievable.
He runs a tremendous pivot route, and Lindsey puts the ball low right in his belly, so he doesn't have to worry about raising his arms. Lindsey gives him a very catchable ball, so he has to move his arms very, very little and make the play. What an effort.
The extra point is good. 1:57 to play in the ball game. Tony Lindsey and Alonzo Mays have led the comeback.
Well, Alonzo Mays' shoulder pads are off, putting the ice pack on the shoulder. He's done for the day. Here he is, though. He runs a pivot route to the corner of the end zone, pivots away from the defender, overpowers him coming off the line of scrimmage a little bit, pivots inside, and the ball is thrown right in the breadbasket. Didn't have to move his arms at all. Lindsey threw him a perfect ball, but, you know, Ron, we were talking during the break. If I'm the defensive back, I really challenge him. Chuck him, hit that shoulder. Don't let him come off the line of scrimmage so easily and cleanly. That's a good point to think about there. But, I mean, the heart of a champion right there. Alonzo Mays says, I want to be the guy to help us win this football game. He goes in for one play, and now he's done for the afternoon. That's storybook. That's the heart of a champion.
8 receptions, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns for Mays. Oklahoma State 8 up over 6 minutes on the clock. Devin West will take a seat 5 yards deep into the end zone. The longest possession before that for Oklahoma State was just under 3 minutes. That one was double it.
You know, sometimes during the course of a championship season, you have to have these come from behind. What a perfect throw by the redshirt freshman, Lindsey. He knows he's got a big target, but he knows he's got a target that's a one-arm paper hanger out there. He can't do anything with that other arm. And he throws the ball perfectly for Alonzo Mays to make the play. But I can't believe on a short pivot route he gets that open.
Jim Knox, what do you have for us?
This is exactly what happened on that last play by Alonzo Mays. What happened was he saw the opportunity, went to the coach and said, I want back in. Then he got in Tony Lindsay's face and said, throw me the ball, just look for me. Got to the line of scrimmage, motioned to his hand where he wanted the ball, caught the touchdown pass. When the trainers ran up to him, didn't want anyone around him to hit his shoulder. They grabbed him, put him on the bench, and now he is through for the day.
Yeah, he's got the ice
But
bag
what
on
an
his
ending.
shoulder.
Yeah, but what an ending. Pass incomplete for Jones. We still have 1:49 to play, and he is still very dangerous because Corby Jones has played a very good football game today.
Oh, absolutely, Ron. And, you know, I mean, how many times in the NBA have you seen a player say, I want the ball, I want to take the last shot? Alonzo Mays in this game, the great players say, I want to make the play that wins this football game. Put the ball in my hands, even though I've only got one good arm to work with. He wanted the ball.
Eddie Brooks in motion. Jones to Olivo. Thrown over by a bunch of orange jerseys. Corby Jones, who had so much success in that first half, only 2 rushes here in the second half, for a total of 24 yards. He now faces 3rd and 12 with 1:33 to play.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Bingo.
A tale of 2 ball games. Amazing. First and second half, totally opposite.
For the game, Jones, Tuck. Missouri's keys to victory that we told you about early on in the first quarter.
Well, they wanted to get off to a quick start, and they certainly did. A huge halftime lead, contained Lindsay and Mays. They did it in the first half, certainly not in the second. The winning touchdown proves that. Seized all opportunities. They really didn't get that done either. In the first half, they could have hung, 7 or 10 more points on the board. A couple of guys wide open that were overthrown. And didn't seize every opportunity, and ultimately that came back to bite them a little in the second half.
With 67 seconds left.
Definitely Hunt forced Corby Jones to pitch it on the option. Well, they did that for the most part. He had a touchdown rush on the option that hurt a little bit and hold Missouri to less than 3 yards to carry. They didn't get that done. Man, look at that big creature. 5.3 per carry. And man, we're being invaded by the big bugs. But for the most part, Oklahoma State, even though they didn't get every key accomplished, they showed resourcefulness. And I think the big thing was being unpredictable. I mean, Bob Simmons took everything out of the game plan, Ron. The throwback pass to Lindsay, the funky formation on the 2-point. He didn't leave any bullets in the chamber. He fired every weapon he had.
If Missouri wants to stay alive, it comes down to one play. They are alive as they cross the 35 to Ricky Ross to the 36. 60 seconds left.
There's a guy with a capital C stamped on his card as well for competitors. No, Corby.
8 minutes. It is running now. Jones being rushed. Throws it incomplete. Trent Alexander put the pressure on. The executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Morrison. Coordinating producer of College Football Saturday, Roy Hamilton. Today's game produced by Robert Steinfeld, directed by Kenny Miller. Field operations, Andrea Jenkins.
Boy, just another, we've had back-to-back tremendous college football games on Baylor, Oklahoma last week. And, of course, this football game last week decided by a point. This one in the last minute of the game, being decided with tremendous college action.
First, 2nd and 10, ball on the 36. Jones over the middle. Pass is complete to the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Corey Coleman on the reception.
Amazing. I tell you, this Oklahoma State defense made some adjustments at halftime. Corby Jones came out for the first half and the second half, had to call a timeout. But now Missouri adjusting to the adjustments throw it any better to him if you walked up and gave it to him.
Trent Alexander again putting pressure on. 2nd and 10, 26 seconds left to play. Going for Pater. Over McQuarters, intended for Ricky Ross.
Oh, wow!
Touchdown, Missouri!
Unbelievable!
18 seconds left. McQuarters thought he was out of bounds. 38 yards on the reception, and that man still has a heartbeat.
Now, is he going to kick it and go into overtime, or will he go for the win right here? On the road, last week, Baylor went for the win against Oklahoma and did not convert. He only converted about 28% of the time. I think Larry Smith is going to kick it and take it to OT, but what a finish to this football game.
Nickman has missed one today. Oklahoma State wants a timeout. Missouri is out of timeout.
Manischewitz.
That is unbelievable. And you're picking on a guy who's good. R.W. McQuarters, the free safety.
But a guy who stepped up to make big plays for them the last couple of weeks, 5 catches coming into this game, came up large against Texas with Ricky Ross, and he couldn't have come up larger than he did against Oklahoma State. And man, Corby Jones, you can't throw a better ball than he did. I mean, this is a desperation shot here. Good protection up front. Corby Jones just heaves this thing up as high and deep as he can. R.W. McQuarters doesn't find the football field too late. There was pushing and shoving going on. McQuarters pushed, and then Ricky Ross pushed back off of him. The official ruled that all that was incidental. They gave no player an advantage on the touchdown. What was ultimately a touchdown, there was no flag, no call, and this game could be going to overtime if the extra point is converted.
Ross, 2 receptions on that drive, 18 yards and 38 yards. Well, he had a couple of big ones last week against Texas. He comes back today with 3 total receptions, 62 yards and a score.
The 2-point conversion, you're successful 28% of the time. If you go into overtime, it's a 50-50 shot for the victory if both teams are pretty equal. And these two guys have kind of punched each other, knocked on the canvas, and gotten back up, so it seems pretty equal.
Nickman's kick is good. 4 of 5 today, but that is the man who has helped tie this score up. We are at 37 with 18 seconds left before overtime.
One wants to continue an unbeaten season. The other one realizes their bowl opportunity is facing them this afternoon, and both teams are playing like it. I mean, this is college football at its finest. Both teams wearing their emotions right on their sleeve all afternoon. It's been a great one.
Well, we still have 18 left, and we still have R.W. McQuarters back.
With it. There you go.
At the 40, up to the 49-yard line. Now, Oklahoma State will have 15 seconds to try to get it about 30 yards in a field goal position for Tim Sidney.
Exactly. No timeout, but they can't. Remember, when the first down, the chains move and the clock stops in college football, you can spike the ball to get your field goal team on the field, but obviously you can't spike it on 4th down. So bear all that in mind as they try to come up with a couple of plays here that would indeed give them a field goal opportunity. I'm sorry, 1 timeout left for the Cowboys. So they do have 1, and remember, the clock stops when you do advance the ball 10 yards.
Dante Hill wide to the right. Lindsey's the quarterback. The secondary for Missouri playing on their own 40. Lindsey's pass. Ooh, completed and it's dropped. Sean Love made the reception and then took one up the side of his head.
Man, he took a shot. Unbelievable collision right there. Perkins is one that nailed him.
That would have put him in field goal position.
Boy, he's in the slot, and Lindsey delivers the ball into double coverage. Very tight though. Man, he's sandwiched right there. Piercy and Perkins, and man, he was the meat of the loaf right there in that old sandwich.
Boy, he was. Now Kevin Brown comes in, the big fullback, with 9 seconds left. That would have put it down at the 35-yard line, which would have been about 52-yard field goal. And the wind has died here in Stillwater. Lindsey. Oh, almost intercepted. Kevin Ford had it in his hands with seconds left. Now do you just go for the home run toss and hope for a penalty?
Yeah, I think pretty much do hope for a Hail Mary shot here from the pretty. If Ford caught that ball though, he would have been at least a Mercedes cruise in the end zone on that. Man, he would have been high caught. He had golden goalpost there, but didn't quite secure the ball. But what a great football game this thing has turned into. Just first half and second half couldn't have been any different than what unfolded here today.
Third down and 10, but that's elementary because there's only 5 seconds left to play. Lindsey rolls, looking for some time. He's going to toss it. That ball's got a little too much air underneath it. And it's going to be picked off as time runs out. Wade Perkins, a junior out of Las Vegas, Nevada, number 22, with his first interception of the year, but that is the way regulation will end. Tied at 37, and it all came about in the final 20 seconds. Corby Jones finds Ricky Ross from 38 yards out. We're heading to OT. Don't touch the dial.
I'm looking for a man who's really a man. A man who's at home in the great outdoors. Someone who'll build a dream house in the mountains. And who loves wine and French food.
The all-new Mazda truck. Pure truck.
Lay it back, rock, rap, fast, sweet, cool, dude. Take the fun. Do the dark, classic car, talk, show, body, and view. You'll get the girl.
Traveling's an adventure. Where you stay shouldn't be. Fairfield Inn by Marriott.
Just in time.
One last box.
Oh, hi, Kelly. And bye, Kelly, if you think you're getting a corn pop.
How's it going, Brian? As in going away without the pop?
You shopping? Oh, man, she's not moving.
Uh-huh. Oh, no, it's not. I can't.
If I don't get that last...
For these respective teams under their head coaches, and Brock Olivo looks like he's deciding the end of the field he wants to defend. That means that Oklahoma State will get the ball first at the 25.
That means Missouri will be kicking with the wind if they decide a field goal, because the wind is, well, now it looks like it's swirling. It was moving left-right. And at times it kicks up.
Now, what about Alonzo Mays, Ron? Do you think he's done for the day? I mean, they took the shoulder pads off and iced him down. He thought that his touchdown catch won the game. Knowing him, he's probably back to the coaches and trainers saying, look, if there's a critical play, I want the opportunity again. I wonder if they're going to let him.
Well, now there's still some confusion.
Missouri wins the toss and elects to play defense. Oklahoma State will defend the goal.
All right. Let's take a look at the overtime rules and see what we have in store for Larry Smith and Bob Simmons. Second year in a row, these two teams have gone to overtime.
Now you can see there's 3 choices. They may choose either end of the field, offense or defense. Missouri said they wanted to play defense. Oklahoma State said they wanted to defend that end of the field they chose. So, I mean, nobody wants the ball first in this overtime, because then you want it second, because then you know what you have to match.
Right.
So then they start at the 25-yard line, and that's where we go. See if they now, Missouri wants to play defense because they want to know if they have to just kick a field goal to put it into a second overtime, or if they have to score a touchdown, and they want to answer. They want to counter everything that Oklahoma State's going to get done in this first possession.
Alonzo Mays is not in.
No Alonzo. Boy, that hurt.
Greg Brown, number 87, one of the tight ends. Garrett Steggs, number 86, the other. Jamal Fobbs is behind Tony Lindsay. We are into overtime, folks. feet. Makes his way down to the 22 before Brian Craycraft finally rides him down, number 59.
I wonder if they get inside the 10-yard line if we'll see Big Alonzo, or if he's out for good. I mean, he may just make an appearance on a big third down conversion again, just like he did at the end of the football game. But Alonzo is being cared for medically. It doesn't look like he's in any kind of a position to contribute to this game anymore.
They're keeping it a secret. Bob stacked up, maybe up to the 21-yard line, maybe a pickup of one. It'll bring up a third down, probably 6.
And here's where you'd like to have Alonzo. But unfortunately, he's not available right now physically, so huge blow. Somebody else is going to have to step up large in his absence.
Well, now looks like Alonzo May's arm is in a sling. But if there's no chance of him coming out, you don't have to hide him.
Yeah, Alonzo is, like I said before, unfortunately, he may be done for more than just the conclusion of this game with a third-degree separation.
3rd and 6. Lindsey's calling the signal. Bob's behind him. The rush is on. They swing it out to Fobb. Can he get to the outside? He does. Looking at 6. Jamal Fobbs. He got to the outside, and he smelled the goal line.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a missed tackle out in the perimeter. Was it Al Sterling? I was trying to... Al Sterling looked like he was the linebacker that was out one-on-one with Fobbs, and Fobbs made the catch and just outran him, broke the tackle, and it was sayonara.
Fitness for the extra point. And Oklahoma State has the lead by 7. We'll step aside here in Stillwater. We are in overtime where the Oklahoma State Cowboys have the advantage by 7. We trail it by 7 here in overtime, 44-37.
In Missouri, the reason they wanted to play defense was at least now they know what they have to do. Oklahoma State scores on a little swing pass that Fobbs turned into a big play. A missed tackle by Sterling at the linebacker level, and Fobbs took it to the house.
James, the fullback, Olivo, the tailback. Jones pitches to Olivo. Cuts back to the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Let's take a look at that Oklahoma State touchdown once again.
Well, who stepped up big? It's Fobbs. Pretty decent pass rush and nice job getting the ball out. Sterling can't catch Fobbs, but once he misses the tackle, too much speed on the perimeter, touchdown.
2nd down and 3. Ball is on the 9-yard line for Missouri. The fullback down to the 1. Ron James saw a big open, and now Missouri knocking on the door.
Rhino.
The Rhino. You got it.
The Rhino was just taking it to the house. He came up just a little short, but this kid, that's a big old fullback, 276 pounds. Heck, when I first was in the NFL, that was what offensive tackles weighed. Now you have fullbacks and linebackers weighing 276.
Missouri with 4 chances to get it in from the 1. Blackwell, James, and Olivo in the backfield. Is it a touchdown? Yes, it is Missouri.
Wow, what a game.
Just taking turns, slugging each other. Let's look at it again.
Brock Olivo, when he sniffs the goal line, you better have, I don't know, orange barrels across the goal line because lower his shoulder pads and get underneath up front by the Missouri O-line.
Nickman 4 of 5 on extra points today. The snap. The kick. We are tied at 44 in overtime, and we'll try it again. Last year they win in OT. This year we're going double.
Double OT. Fours are wild. 44-44. Unbelievable football game.
How important is this game for both teams? Well, all you have to do is take a gander at the standings, and you can see exactly why it is important. Missouri would love to go 3-2 in the conference and 5-3 overall.
And beat the number 12 team on the road. That has significant bowl implications.
In the South, Oklahoma State wants to get another game up on A&M if they can. As at the center of the field, we're going to toss the coin up again.
Oklahoma State would go 4-0, 7-0, keep that perfect season intact. And when you look at it, it's incredible when you think that we showed at the beginning of the broadcast all the categories, the significant defensive categories that Oklahoma State was in the top 10 in the country.
Oklahoma State chooses to play defense. Missouri chooses to play on the East Coast.
Well, both teams want the other team to have it first. Oklahoma State had the option,
had the choice,
and they want to play defense also and see what Missouri does, so they know what they have to do in response. And the same old philosophy here, but man, this football game is
yeah,
you couldn't ask for much more. I mean, everything and anything that you could ask for is unfolded today, but Oklahoma State was in the top 10 of almost all significant defensive categories we're on, and those numbers are going to take a hit today.
Throw those out the window. That was not a flip, by the way. They got a choice, and the cold front has really come through now because the wind has picked up.
Here's the fourth season.
This is coming. James and Olivo split backfield. Lehman in motion. They're looking for Lehman. Pass just out of his reach. R.W. McQuarters on the coverage. 2nd and 10.
Well, Lehman ran the same type of pivot route that Big Alonzo ran in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. And Corby Jones led him a little bit too much. He thought he was going to pivot toward the sideline a little bit more than Lehman did. And as a result, threw it a little bit wide open.
There's the wind. They are going with the wind at this end zone. But if you look at the goalposts, they are moving, they are shaking, and it's swirling in the end zone they're headed to. Jones on the option. Has some room. Knocked out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Pickup of 6, which will bring up a 3rd down at about 4.
Well, the option was blocked very, very well by Missouri there. And that's why you have not seen the 46 Bear defense very much today. It's not a very sound defense against the option. And basically, Missouri's ability to run the option has taken Rob Ryan's defense out of the Bear configuration more into an over and under look and left something inside that's been man-on-man. And Missouri's techniques have been a little sounder than Oklahoma State.
3rd down, we'll call it 3. James. Close to the 1st down, and he's going to have it. I think he may have just gotten the ball over, and he did. So Missouri now 1st and 10. Ball is on the 15 in our 2nd overtime. Oh. Boy, if you would have told us earlier today, and usually we have kind of a little game that we have, David and I, we kind of try to pick the score. We both really stunk today. We're not even close.
No, not even close.
No.
I don't think anybody would have predicted 44-44 going into the 2nd overtime. Nice kickout block. Lead block by the left guard, Mike Morris, for the Rhino on that last rush.
Again, it's James and Olivo. Jones will run the option. He's got room to the 10, to the 5, to touchdown.
Man, unbelievable.
He made it look so easy, and now Missouri has the lead.
One of the keys to the game for Oklahoma State was to get the ball out of Corby Jones' hand when he ran the option. Make him pitch the football. The game plan was to put a hit on Corby Jones every time he ran the option. And it hasn't happened a few times. There have been some breakdowns in assignments defending the option by Oklahoma State.
The extra point. They hook it around. Nickman is good, and now the Missouri Tigers have the advantage thanks to Corby Jones. Valiant effort by Jones for Missouri. Alonzo Mays for Oklahoma State. 51-44 is our score.
Corby Jones, option out of the eye. And nice block by Rhino to get it started, and then Corby Jones just makes people miss at the 2nd and 3rd level. His athletic ability takes over once his big fullback gets the lead block on the option. I mean, the thing is, Missouri runs the option from so many different different sets run, from the eye, from split back. They do such a good job with the option that it's been a sore spot for Oklahoma State.
Griffin wide to the right. Sean Love wide to the left. We are in our second overtime. Lindsey, play action pass. Looking for something. That should be pass interference, and it is. Yep. Intended for Garrett Staggs, but he was brought down from behind. Piercy got him.
Yeah, Piercy wrapped him up before the arrival of the football and pinned his arm. Lindsey, get him out of pocket. Give him a two-way go, and delivers the ball very accurately, but Piercy's already wrapping up the intended receiver long before the arrival of the football. Staggs had no shot.
Lindsey already with 4 touchdown passes today. That is an Oklahoma State school record.
Automatic first down at the start of the foul.
Boy, you can hear the wind down there on the referee's microphone. It's like it's gusting up pretty good. And on the goalpost, you can see the little flags at the top just blowing away almost straight out there.
And the goalposts are moving.
Yeah, they are.
Well, the ball's going to be spotted at the 13, first and 10. We are in second overtime. Missouri with the lead. Simmons straight ahead. Maybe gets 1, maybe 2 yards. That is it.
I tell you, who would have thunk that Missouri would have come in here and hung a half a hun in Oklahoma State?
That's what Barry Switzer used to say when he came here. He'd say, I'm going to go to Oklahoma State and hang a half a hundred on him.
I'll tell you what, Larry Smith, I'm sure that he was confident that his offense would move the football, but the number of yards and the number of points they produced, I'm sure is a pleasant surprise to him.
Second down and 9. Simmons. Down to about the 6-yard line before Marquise Gibson and Terrence Binion make the stop. Third down for the Cowboys. It'll be about 3 yards to go for the first.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be plenty of guys sleeping good tonight. You talk about some exercise on a Saturday afternoon. Man, oh man, they've been out here knocking heads and running and hitting and catching and blocking and tackling.
And he still looks calm.
He does. He'll sleep, I don't know how he's going to sleep yet tonight, but he's going to sleep.
On 3rd and 3 for the Cowboys, trailing by a touchdown. Simmons, nothing doing, and Oklahoma State is going to face a 4th down.
Yeah, no question you got to go for it here, obviously. And now it's the biggest play of the game comes up on this 4th down play. No cutback lane for Nathan Simmons that he could take advantage of.
Donnell Jones covers that lane up quickly, number 97 for the Missouri Tigers.
How'd you like to have Alonzo right now? Roll the quarterback out with a two-way go to Alonzo, but no opportunity.
Hell, Oklahoma State is going to call a timeout. Trailing 51-44, 4th down, 2 to go in the second overtime period. Bob Simmons looking to go 7-0. Now, Alonzo Mays is out with a shoulder injury, but what a day Alonzo Mays had.
Oh, he was outstanding. A little play-action fake, the misdirection, pulls the linebackers a little bit. Lindsey spreads the ball in there to Alonzo, and here's the touchdown play. Watch the big guy go up and bring the foot down inbounds. Just an excellent effort right there. 8 catches for 126 yards. There's his second touchdown reception as he runs a little pivot route that at that point gave Oklahoma State a 37-30 lead, but that seems like 3 months ago.
Brock Olivo told us last night, I asked him, I said, if you look up at the scoreboard and you see you won, what would you feel like? And he got pretty quivery. He said that would be the greatest feeling. They have an opportunity now with his team. Got Oklahoma State back on their heels with a 4th down and 2.
And Mo Ankney right now, the defensive coordinator for Larry Smith's coaching staff, is glad that Alonzo, the big contributions that he's made, he can't make any more contributions. They have to face this 4th down situation without the big fella.
Lindsey. Got it. Goes in. No, they're going to say he was short, but it'll be a 1st and goal. The official has fallen down. Not touchdown.
Oh, wow. That was a late one. Uh-oh. And he may get flagged. A player from Missouri hit the official's arm when he signaled touchdown. Now they're going to convert. I think he may be overruled. I didn't think that he broke the plane. I really didn't. I didn't think he got the ball extended inside the pylon to break the plane.
Well, the official was covered up by a bunch of players. He took a hit himself.
Yeah, one kid pulled his arm down. And they're giving it a touchdown.
Touchdown.
One of the Lord. When the official seen the touchdown run, he grabbed that arm to pull it down like there's no way. And look at this.
They're going for 2.
Oklahoma State's going
This is for the win.
They go to the funky formation again.
They were successful the first time they used it, and now a timeout's going to be called by Missouri. Great move. If you're Bob Simmons, I'm sorry, you got to question it. Why go for two? Why not try your luck on the next possession? He is rolling the dice.
Take a look at this touchdown.